For 73 years, the rivalry, USC Notre Dame, 1927 attracting a record 120,000 fans to Soldier Field. Early USC victory so big that it produced ticker tape headline celebrations. The Trojans and the Irish through the generations providing high-quality football theater. 25 years ago, Anthony Davis leading an unforgettable Trojan comeback from 24-0 down to win 55-24. For the 71st time, the Knute Rockne-inspired competition brings these two great universities together on a festive fall day from Notre Dame Stadium. 80,000, another sellout here at Notre Dame, and believe me, this rivalry still very important to both of these schools, USC and Notre Dame, each looking for an important victory today to put themselves on the winning side of the column. USC comes in 3-2, and the Irish have rallied from 1-3 down there, 3-3. Dick Enberg, welcome, along with former Oxford University croquet captain Pat Hayden.
Don't forget the cricket. I play cricket too.
Cricket too. We'll get to that later. Well, the rally cry here at Notre Dame all week long for Bob Davie. He's gone to the seniors and said, you know, you've never beaten USC. You could leave this university and never have a win over the Trojans.
Well, you know, if they're going to break that streak and start a streak of their own, they're going to get great play from Jarious Jackson, which they have had most of this year. Jarious has been sensational, particularly the last couple of weeks. Now, he can beat you a lot of different ways. Scramble around, throwing the ball in the end zone. The receivers have come alive, but I think he's most dangerous when he tucks the ball under and runs. He'll see him with 6 or 7 quarterback draws today, and I think Jarious Jackson, if you look at what he did in his first 4 games when they went 1-3, well, forget about those numbers and look what he's done the last 2 games. And the Irish have got turned around because he has been turned around. 6 TD passes, no interceptions. Now for USC, Dick, I think it's not just defending Jarious Jackson. I think it's a style of play. Nobody in the Pac-10 plays power football anymore. It's a finesse conference. It's a tough matchup. And Notre Dame runs the option. USC has not defended the option well, dating back to the last bowl game.
And for Notre Dame, the tough challenge for them defensively, how do you control the speed of the USC team? Maybe the fastest team in the nation.
They are incredible, and it starts with R.J. Soward, really one of the most dynamic players in all of college football here against Oregon a few weeks ago. A couple of weeks later, returned a punt, 85 yards for a touchdown. They'll try to get the ball to him in a variety of ways, but you talk about how dynamic he is. He has scored 29 touchdowns in his USC career, average in those touchdowns over 49 yards. I think R.J. Soward has to touch the ball at least 15 times today for USC to have a chance.
They want to dial up number 18, R.J. Soward. Well, those of us who have watched USC through the generations from granddads to dads, hey, what happened to student body right, student body left?
Remember, it used to be tailback U. Well, it is tailback U no longer. This is a university that is really struggling to find a consistent running game. Yes, they've had some good moments, but Arizona, the Nader, minus 20 yards rushing last week. And I think when you come into Notre Dame Stadium, you can't be a finesse team. You must find a way to run the ball with consistency in between the tackles. And if SC's going to have a chance, they're going to have to do that.
All right, the 71st in this great rivalry. USC and Notre Dame from South Bend on a perfect football afternoon. They're ready on the Irish side, and there are thousands of fans here to cheer the USC Trojans. The kickoff coming up.
What's up? What's up?
From its very inception, a contentious series. Notre Dame leading 39, 26-5. The Trojans sporting a 3-game winning streak. For more on this colorful encounter, let's go down to the field in Paul Sunderland.
Well, thanks, Dick. We thought it would be appropriate to take just a few moments and reminisce how this series began, a legendary series that had become a hallmark of college football. You go back to the early 1920s, Knute Rockne was the coach here at Notre Dame, and his wife Bonnie wanted to get out of the cold of South Bend, Indiana, and she thought, well, let's travel out to the West Coast. But Knute, whose team was already a national draw, at least in the Midwest and the East, was not much on traveling. That Notre Dame team was already called the Ramblers. But she persisted, did Bonnie, and finally in 1926, Knute and his Fighting Irish went out to Southern California. It should be noted that the Fighting Irish did get a $20,000 guarantee to travel west. And also, as we get ready for the last meeting between Notre Dame and USC in the 20th century, it was also USC Notre Dame, the last game that Knute Rockne coached. A March later in 1931, we lost as he perished in a plane crash on his way from Kansas City to Southern California. Let's get it started, Dick.
All right, Paul. And Howard Jones, the legendary head coach of the University of Southern California in the early 30s. won 2 national championships, and a great rivalry. A rivalry of football powers truly was born, both in the Pacific and here in the Midwest. 2 teams that through each decade have provided the highest level of collegiate football. Bob Davie, much better mood the last couple of weeks with his Irish offense playing meticulous football, not a single turnover last week, and an impressive win against the Pac-10's Arizona State. USC has won the toss and will defer. Notre Dame then to receive. And the Irish, known the last 20 years for returning kicks for touchdowns, been somewhat silent in that department. Tony Driver and Terrence Howard are deep. And the kick by David Bell of Southern California, and he roots it halfway into the end zone, and the Irish won't take a chance. They'll start at the 20-yard line. Now let's take a look at the principal financial group starting lineups for the Irish of Notre Dame. Jarious Jackson brings them on. That line building in chemistry: Jordan Black, Jim Jones, John Morandi, Mike Gandy, and John Teasdale. Jackson will have Tony Fisher, the sophomore tailback, Tom Lipinski, the sophomore fullback, Joey Getherall from Southern California wanted to go to USC, and they didn't accept him. Bobby Brown, the veteran split end, and Jabari Holloway at tight end. The Irish come out, 2 wide receivers to the right, and actually they send Lipinski, the fullback, out. This is number 6, David Gibbons, in motion, and that didn't fool anyone as the Irish find a swarming Trojan defensive charge led by 22, David Gibson. Here are the USC Trojans: Lonnie Ford, Brian Nilsson, 300-pound Ennis Davis, and Matt Childers. Basically, other than Davis, it's a very small defensive line. Abdul Malik, Moreno, their leading tackler, and Steele, the backers. Simmons and Chris Richard. Richard, a top cover man. Oholete and Gibson at safety. A loss of 3 on first down. Lipinski and Fisher in the eye. They move both wide receivers left. And the fake to Fisher, and Jackson throws complete to the fullback, Lipinski, who staggers and falls at the 23. Gain of 6. It'll be 3rd and 7.
Well, Notre Dame is going to test the Trojans on the ground, and then they feel that, hey, we want a power run and we want to run the options. They watched the Notre Dame coaches watch a lot of tape of USC's bowl game last year where they did not defend the option well, and they want to put some pressure on the corners. But this is the down where you really have to be aware of Jarious Jackson and his capability of running the ball.
Gibbons and Getherall in the slot right with Brown left. And Jackson shuffles back into a modest shotgun and now back up under center. 3rd down 7. Fisher now the tailback. It's the option, and Fisher has some running room. If he gets a block, doesn't. Tries to cut back and falls shy of the first down at the 26, and Marcus Steele wearing that familiar defensive 55 and Cardinal in the back of his white uniform. It was the number Willie McGinnis and Chris Claiborne last year. Junior Seau, an honored defensive number.
Well, Dick, there was the first option play today. It looked like it was going to, it was going to be a big hole there, a big lane. But the one thing about this USC defense, they are fast and they are quick.
So into punt, Joey Hildbold, and will they kick to R.J. Soward, one of the best in the nation. It's short. That takes a Notre Dame roll and then out of bounds at the USC 42-yard line. So the Trojans of Paul Hackett will start in excellent field position on a short 30-yard punt by Hildbold. Let's check the USC starting offensive unit. With quarterback Mike Van Raphorst, the line of Roberts, Mailo, Denman, Wilson, and Claridge. Travis Claridge, watch him, number 71. He's played as a starter throughout his 4-year career at SC. Van Raphorst, the quarterback. Chad Morton, the tailback. Charlie Landrigan, the blocker. Soward, Hayes, the wide receivers. Antoine Harris at tight end. They come out and throw right away to Soward, who tried to run before he'd really pulled it in. Incomplete. Defensively, as the Irish now have the Trojans 2nd and 10. It'll be Irons, Weaver, Southern Californian Brad Williams, and Lamont Bryant on the front line. Joe Farrar gets the start, the senior from Castleberry, Florida. Anthony Denman, he's been tough all year. Ronnie Nix is a hitter. Jefferson and Harper at the corners. Cooper and Sanders, the tough senior safeties. Give it to Morton up the middle, and Morton driving to the 50 and is close to a first down at the Irish 49. It'll be 3rd and 2. Bryant was able to drag him down, and Landrigan with a good block leading Morton.
And then for USC to win, they must re-establish the run they've had, which they've had at times. You mentioned the block by Landrigan, the lead back. Anytime you're in an I formation, you got to have your fullback block the linebacker. He did a good job there. And then they have to dial, as you said, number 18, R.J. Sauer's number. That's the two things that have to happen for the Trojans today.
Wendell Hayes and Sauer to the left on 3rd and 2. Give it to Morton. Finds a hole. He has a first down and more to the Irish 41-yard line before Dick Cooper can make the stop.
You know, Chad Morton, the coaches feel that Chad Morton has been dancing a little bit too much, and they had him all week long take the ball to the defense. Don't try to look for a 40-yard run. Get us some 4-yard runs. And that's how you reestablish the thing. If you have a guy always looking for the 40-yard run, you're going to have a lot of lost yardage, and that's been part of their problem in the running game.
So the 5'11", 5'8", 185-pound Morton, he gets the call again, number 7, the brother of Johnny Morton, now playing in the NFL, wide receiver with the Detroit Lions, and Johnny Sanders stops him after a short gain of about 3.
These safeties for Notre Dame have really played well this year. Johnny Sanders last week with a touchdown return. D. Cooper, 2 fumble recoveries and an interception last week. So both the Notre Dame safeties have played particularly well the last couple of weeks.
Now they send Morton out as a slot left, Sauer to the right. Notre Dame will be certain where he is, and he gets the ball. Breaks a tackle and brought down at the 31-yard line, very close to a first down. So a good quick move by R.J. Sauer, the senior from Rialto, California, and he may have enough for the first down. Yes, they moved the chains.
And it's good game plan. Twice they've thrown the hitch pass. One time Sauer dropped it. This time he catches and picks up the first down. Give the guy some chance in space. Hugh Jackson, the offensive coordinator, says we've got to get the ball to R.J. Sauer early in the game. If they get him started early, he seems to play well for four quarters.
Even that picture, he has a bit of an attitude, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
And he can follow it up. He can talk the talk because he can walk the walk. As Morton burrows for a couple of yards. Look at Chad Morton. They call him the little big man. He is the first 2-time captain since the turn of the century, when you remember Dan Cayley
sure.
was captain in 1902 and 1903. So quite an honor for Morton, who was an outstanding student. He's an academic All-America candidate in sociology, an A student.
Well, yeah. He's at a 3.4 GPA, but you don't want your GPA to kind of match your yards per carry. He's averaging 3.7. They want a little bit more out of him.
Only you would come up with that. Van Raphorst looking to throw and dumps it off to his fullback, Chad Pearson. And Pearson bumped hard out of bounds by Devron Harper.
One of those naked bootlegs that both of these teams run. Good drive thus far by the Trojans, led by Mike Van Raphorst. Had his fullback Pearson, number 34, over here on the right of the screen. Again, maybe if he gets the ball to him a little bit quicker, he picks up a few more yards.
That'll bring up 3rd down and a short 3. Pearson, a sophomore from Oxnard, California. I believe that's his first catch of the year. Notre Dame crowd into it on 3rd and short. Van Raphorst, plenty of time, complete, and it's Hayes. Touchdown USC, Wendell Hayes. No pressure on quarterback Mike Van Raphorst, and he finds the senior Hayes wide open over the middle. They call him Scissors because of his quick cuts, and he knifed his way into the end zone.
You're right. No pressure on him. This has been a problem for Notre Dame's defense, but really good hands by Wendell Hayes. He's not the fastest of their very speedy wide receivers, but their best all-around receiver.
The try for point, but David Newberry and the USC Trojans have struck in the first 5 minutes of this opening quarter. Paul Hackett's team leading 7-0.
Let's go back to that touchdown. This is Wendell Hayes. He's going to be a guy in the motion. It really turns out to be like one-on-one basketball. You get a Johnny Sanders covering him. As soon as the quarterback sees a defensive back running with him, he knows it's man-for-man coverage. He cuts inside, and then it's chasing the whole way. So a well-designed play and series for the Trojans.
Hayes on the receiving end of Mike Van Rapport's 4th touchdown pass of the year. And now with a 7-0 lead, the ball blown off the tee is David Bell ready to kick it off to Driver and Julius Jones, the scintillating freshman from Big Stone Gap, Virginia, who scored an impressive sweep last week. That's Jones on your left. Bell with a powerful leg, his first kickoff halfway into the end zone. And he hammers this one. Will Jones try it? Yes, from 4 yards deep. And he is toppled hard at the 17-yard line. Now Notre Dame ball inside the 20 with a timeout. 9:42 left in the opening quarter. USC striking on their first possession. Back at Notre Dame with a reminder to log on to MSNBCSports.com. Click on a special section, NBC's Notre Dame Central. Pat Hayden will reflect on the 25th anniversary of that remarkable 55-24 USC comeback win over Notre Dame in 1974. Plus, check out on-demand video highlights, post-game audio interviews, MSNBCSports.com, the official website of NBC Sports. Notre Dame trailing 7-0 early, starts from the 18. On the option, Jackson tosses to Jones, and he is grabbed for a loss back inside the 15-yard line by Antoine Simmons, the junior cornerback from Sacramento.
2 option plays that Notre Dame has run. Actually, the last 2 plays, watch the corners here really make some good plays. Middle linebacker inside here, and Antoine Simmons, and all 3 of them. And obviously they were well schooled and well coached this week. They expected the option play. They forced the quarterback, Jarious Jackson, deep. They pitched good coverage on the quarterback and the pitch man. Well-disciplined, a good disciplined defense.
Don't see cornerbacks playing in there, almost a linebacker position.
He's a good tackler, Simmons.
2nd down, 15. Shotgun, Jarious Jackson. Slant to Bobby Brown, and Brown hit by Simmons and nailed at the 20-yard line, a gain of about 7. Will bring up 3rd down and 8.
Jarious Jackson, the last 2 weeks, has made really smart decisions. I mean, he's seeing the field so much better than he did earlier in the game. I mean, big cushion there by Simmons on Bobby Brown. Just drilled the ball, and now this becomes, I think, an important down. Although it's very early in the ball game, a little momentum USC's way thus far. Important for Jarious Jackson to step up as he has so well the last 2 games.
Yeah, they don't want to start this game 2 straight 3-and-outs. 3rd and 8. Jackson fires complete to Getherall, and little Joey Getherall has a Notre Dame first down at the 38-yard line.
Well, he plays back bigger than Mini-Me, does Joey Getherall, all 5'7", 175 pounds. It's amazing for a guy his size how well he plays over the middle. He's out here on the outside, over the middle. And again, no wasted steps by Joey Getherall. Very disciplined route runner. You see how he kind of settles down there in that soft spot of the defense. And everything thrown his way, he catches with his hands. He doesn't seem to bobble. Keeps it away from his body.
17-yard play, first down at the Irish 38-yard line. Givens in motion, give it to Tony Fisher, and Fisher finding that defense against the run for USC mighty tough, led by Sultan Abdul Malik, number 44.
And Marcus Steele, number 55. Marcus Steele, you mentioned the number 55 for USC, but at JC, actually the all JC player a year ago. Still learning their defense, but incredibly quick. Can really cover a lot of territory.
Coach's terminology, talented but raw.
Yeah.
Gain of only 2. Here comes the option and the quick toss to Fisher. Fisher gets to the corner and then knocked out of bounds at the 46-yard line. Again, it was Steele to make the defensive play.
A pretty good lead block by Tom Lipinski, the fullback. This is what they call their lead option, and the key for their lead option is the fullback's block. If the fullback can really cover and block the linebacker, and he was trying to block Moreno, I believe. You're going to see number 36 Lipinski right there. It's Steele. He gets kind of off his feet. If he would have knocked it down, it would have been an easy first down, but it's still a pretty good block by Lipinski.
3rd down, a long 3 just across the 45-yard line. Getherall wide to the left. He's become a favorite receiver. Jackson guns Brown. First down at the USC 44. Antoine Simmons and Ifeanyi Ohalete collaborating on the tackle.
The thing about Jarious Jackson, even though he's a very good runner, he's really patient in the pocket. And when you're patient in the pocket, you wait as long as it takes your wide receiver Bobby Brown to get open. I mean, there was a blitz on there. They didn't flush Jarious Jackson. He waited for Brown, and Brown has really been good this year, particularly on those curl routes. Caught one last week, turned it into a touchdown.
Yeah, Brown with more moves than you, trying to avoid your USC heritage on that one.
Oh, you're cruel. Oh, you are really cruel. You Chippewa, you.
First down at the USC 44, and it's Lipinski, and the big fullback rumbles inside the 35, close to 10 yards for Lipinski, and that's the 256-pound sophomore horse that everyone's been waiting to see.
Yeah, he looks like he knows how to use jumper cables, doesn't he, open Lipinski? He got a big old 255-pound fullback. You know, it's the first time they've set up this trap, inside trap with a fullback. It's left guard Jim Jones trapping on Williams. And you get him rolling, get him some momentum. Lipinski is very hard to bring down.
Well, here's a down with which to play, second and less than a yard. They come out in a pass formation. Dan O'Leary is split tight end, and it's looked like a blown play, and Jackson puts his head down and gets the first down, stretching forward to near the 33-yard line.
You know, Jarious Jackson, and there's a lot of plays that look like blown plays. I think they're designed quarterback draws. I mean, he can turn a lot of what looked like disasters into big plays. 2 runs last week of over 40 yards. You know, 230-pound quarterback who is a very determined and strong runner. Again, the key thing for USC defense is make sure you don't let him have these big creases. You want to put some pressure on Jarious Jackson, but you can't go too far past him and let him sneak underneath you, which he did last week for some big gains.
You're right. He did want to go up the middle. There was nothing there, so he had to scramble wide and got the necessary yardage for the first down. Changing his play is the senior from Tupelo, Mississippi. And on first down, gives to Jones. A big hole for the freshman. Breaks a tackle, and he's all the way to the USC 17.
Power football results in a 16-yard run by Julius Jones. Again, I mentioned the Pac-10 has become a very much a finesse conference, and there's going to be a huge hole right here that Jarious Jackson and Mike Gandy trap it. Gandy around the corner just kind of seals the block on the linebacker, knocks Moreno down. Great block by Gandy. And then the churning Julius Jones.
10th play of this drive as the Irish try to tie it up at 7-0 with less than 5 minutes left in the opening quarter. Lipinski, the fullback, and he drives to the 12-yard line, bowling over David Gibson in the process. Marcus Steele down around the ankles for the tackle.
I think it's good play selection when you have some success and you go back to it. I mean, it's the 3rd time they've given the ball to Lipinski inside on this drive. That's Kevin Rogers, the offensive coordinator, with all 120 plays there in front of him. And again, he's saying until they stop that fullback, we're going to keep running. Then that sets up the option play, and then later on, the option pass.
Second down and 5 at the USC 12. Option, Julius Jones. Well read by the USC defense, and Marcus Steele has had quite an opening quarter. This junior from Long Beach, California, grew up in Columbus, Ohio. His grades not good enough at Ohio State, so went out west to junior college, Long Beach City College.
Here he is, number 55 right here. And again, his job is to take on the lead blocker, which he does, and then make the tackle. I mean, you have to fight through a pretty good blocker in Lipinski and then still make the play on a very fast defensive running back.
Notre Dame required to take a timeout here at 3rd down and 5 at the Trojan 12-yard line. Bob Davies' team trailing 7-0. 52-year-old head coach Paul Haggett, one of the many disciples of Bill Walsh. He played his college football at University of California, Davis, a quarterback there in the late 60s. In his 2nd season with the Trojans, 8-5 last year.
Has a son that's a long snapper there at UC Davis now, Nathaniel.
was the head coach at the University of Pittsburgh from 1989 through 92.
You know, he's got to be a little concerned right now with his run defense. You saw that graphic: 8 runs, only 3 passes on this drive, and you know the finesse of the Pac-10 is a concern, I think, to any defensive coach and head coach right now when you're facing a team, a power team like Notre Dame.
Well, thus far in this first quarter, Southern California is stopping the option. Notre Dame better success up the middle. They come out in the shotgun. Jarious Jackson on 3rd and 5. To the end zone, Gatherall, incomplete, and a good defensive play by Antoine Simmons, although some of the Notre Dame fans looking for a flag.
That was terrific coverage by Antoine Simmons, number 6. You know, a little earlier you pointed out he made a great stop on an option play. And that's what makes it so difficult to play corner, is on one play you stop the option, the next time you got a speedy receiver like Joey Gatherall.
Lots of hands,
yeah,
but...
right, yeah, I think that wasn't pass interference. Got the left hand and knocked it away.
So in comes the sophomore from Granger, Indiana, David Miller, who's taken over from Jim Sanson. This will be a 29-yard field goal attempt from the right hash. And no good. Smothered by USC.
Bob Davie can't believe it. He has changed kickers. Jim Sanson kicked for 4 years for the Irish. Last week he went to David Miller. They continue to struggle in that, and it's not all David Miller. Sometimes it's snapping, sometimes it's the hold, and sometimes the kick comes out too low.
That ball never more than 3-4 feet off the ground. And USC maintains its 7-0 first quarter lead. And welcome back to Notre Dame Stadium, where the enthusiasm of the Irish fans smothered by David Miller's duck hook field goal attempt from 29 yards. Did Simmons get a piece of it? Look at number 6 on the far right of your picture.
Yeah, right over here in the corner. He blocked 3 kicks a year ago. He's down here. It came out very, very low. He might have gotten his left hand on it, but it looked like a good snap, good hold, just low.
Didn't look as if he was on target anyway. No. So the travails of the Notre Dame place kicking continues. Miller following Jim Sanson's troubles. Throw to Soward, and there's Devin Harper to greet him after a gain of 3.
Well, third, hitch pattern they've thrown to J.R. Soward. At some point, they'll go upfield, up top. But Devin Harper knows that. I mean, every defensive back knows they're getting set up. You catch those, you see those little hitch passes in front of you, and you think, whoops, the next one, they're going to try to fly by me.
And look who's in the backfield now, number 13, Sultan McCullough, the fastest ever. A USC uniform. That covers a lot of great talent. And he gets the call, breaks a tackle. You don't want him in the open field, and wrapping him up, Lamont Bryant at about the 26-yard line, bringing up 3rd down and 4. Make it 3rd down 3 at the 27.
Well, won the 100-meter, is the Pac-10 100-meter champion. I mean, they're testing him inside from tackle to tackle. They have a good lead block there by Landrigan. But I think what they really want to do with McCullough is to get him out in some space. Screen passes, pitch plays, give him a chance to use that extraordinary speed.
That 100-meter time only 38/100ths shy of the world record. The throw incomplete and almost intercepted. A chance for Jason Beckstrom, who's getting some duty today. The freshman has pressure on Van Raphorst. Pass intended for R.J. Soward.
Yeah, missed opportunity. Mike Van Raphorst had R.J. Soward a little bit behind him. And with a guy with Soward speed, you don't want to really throw him the hitches too much. You want to get him the ball when he has a chance to run with it. Should have caught it. Was behind him a little bit. Very catchable. If you get that on front, maybe he scores.
And Beckstrom, 27 in there because Lee Lafayette has been sidelined. Academic problems. The backup corner. Short kick. Takes a good USC bounce. And David Newberry will be satisfied with that one as it rolls 42 yards down to the Notre Dame 32-yard line. 31 they'll mark it. Reminder to check out Notre Dame's official athletic department website at www.und.com. Live in-game statistics, transcripts of Bob Davies' press conferences, and all the inside information on football, as well as the other Irish sports at und.com.
Now, what kind of inside information do you think they have on that site? You said all that. What do you think's in there?
Well, you know what would appeal to me, to be serious, would be I'd like to know about USC playing Notre Dame in tennis last night, for example, the results there.
Yeah, that's a good point. You're first of the year.
Couldn't wait to get even. On first down, out to the 35-yard line, a gain of just 3 yards for Tony Fisher, and Sultan Abdul Malik makes the stop for the Trojans.
Well, I think the two big question marks, I think, for the USC coaches, could we stop the power football and the option? Well, they've done a pretty good job on the option play, but Notre Dame's been successful running the ball up the gut. You know, that one was looked benign, but still picked up 3 or 4 yards.
2nd and 7. And Jabari Holloway is split way out to the left in this formation. This is a new look for Notre Dame out of the shotgun.
And this is where like the quarterback draw, too.
He's going to go up on top for Bobby Brown, and Brown bumped by Chris Richard, and no flag. Richard, number 42, they call him Hurricane, wearing that another famous USC number. Ronnie Lott, of course, carried that as an All-America with the Trojans.
Some bumping and pushing going on, but they're not going to call pass interference generally if the defensive back has his head turned and he's looking to the ball. In college football, you can bump them downfield. He gets his head turned. It's incidental contact, not pass interference.
3rd down and 7.
Moreno is going to have to spy Jackson on this one.
Jackson swings it to Terrence Howard, and Howard to the 40 and out of bounds at the 41, but that doesn't appear to be enough for the first down. We'll see about the spot.
Another good decision by Jarious Jackson. You know, you see why he hasn't turned the ball over in the last 2 games, Dick. Not forcing the ball. That was really the only receiver that was open.
The referee today, it's a all Big Ten crew. Jim Lapatina has called for the chains to measure at the 41 of Notre Dame.
I know you like education. Jim Lapatina is a high school guidance counselor.
Many of the officials are teachers and administrators, and not enough it would appear, that much.
I think he sends any kids out of the Big Ten. I think he recommends all his kids go to some of those Big Ten schools. Eh?
So what do you do, Bob Davie? 4th down and 1 in your own half of the field. You take a chance.
I see Jarious Jackson off the side of the field here. I think he looks like he's going to punt it.
Trailing 7-0 with 1 minute 42 seconds remaining in this opening quarter.
You know, it's interesting, too. Bob Davies said to us yesterday, we feel we're going to kick the ball to R.J. Soward and cover. We're going to take our chances.
He's put some of the veteran starters on his special teams to bulk up the effort that certainly was totally demolished by Oklahoma's returns. And Soward is a one-man crew. Again, in case you're joining us late, he scored 29 touchdowns in his brilliant career at USC, R.J. Soward. And they've averaged 49 yards a touchdown. That's just an incredible statistic. He creeps up close, expecting a short kick from Hildbold. This one very high. Fair catch, Soward. Backpedals to the Trojan 18-yard line. 42 yards, no return. Good job by the young kicker, Hildbold.
You know what Bob Davies said to us yesterday? He said, every time Soward touches the ball, I hold my breath. And I'm just really concerned about him in a variety of different ways.
That's true at the home games for USC in the Coliseum. When they see Howard getting close to the ball, everyone seems to move up on the edge of the seat. He's some talent. He'll be a top draft pick at the end of this year. And many thought he would go NFL after his junior year. 4th in the nation in punt returns this year. Here's the little chugger Chad Morton, and 5'8", but stocky at 185, gains nearly 5.
Well, that's what they want to see out of Morton, taking the ball to the defense. No dancing in the hole. Really a different runner thus far in this game. The C on his shoulder pad there for that sole captain that you mentioned that he is.
He was tough on the Irish last year, remember. He led USC with 128 yards rushing. Actually, it's 128, not 138. One of the helmets went flying off a USC player as Morton again carries just shy of the first down behind Landrigan's block. It'll be third down and about 2.
It's Ken O'Brien in the black shirt there, the former New York Jet, very good professional career. He's the one that signals in the plays to Mike Van Raphorst. Van Raphorst was telling us this week Ken O'Brien kind of keeps all the quarterbacks loose on that campus.
They've got some real talent on their coaching staff in terms of former NFL players, O'Brien being one. It's a tight end. Antoine Harris in motion. Van Raphorst on the roll. Now the pressure. The throw to Soward. Complete. First down just across the 30-yard line.
Patient play by Mike Van Raphorst. It was supposed to be a quick little pass in the flat. Wasn't there. He waited, kind of rolled out to his right and waited for Soward to come clean. And then Soward does a great job of not running out of bounds. He just kind of settles by the sideline. And he knew exactly where the first down marker was. So good play, patient play by Van Raphorst. And then Soward right here. Watch, he knows exactly, he knows what the first down marker is, knows where the boundary is. He's waiting. So heads up play.
And Devin Harper showing a great respect for his upfield speed, giving him room. Van Raphorst fires this one. That'll bounce on one hop as he delivered just before Lamont Bryant got to him. One of the concerns for Bob Davie is the fact that his team in 6 games has only 8 sacks. There's 40 sacks in the Notre Dame marching band. I don't know if you knew that, but only 8 sacks for his football team. And they felt that because Van Raphorst operates under center, that there may be an opportunity today to get to him.
Yeah, USC is still one of the very few teams that doesn't use a shotgun formation. Felt that Lamont Bryant in particular had a chance to get in Van Raphorst's face. 2nd
and 10, the draw to Morton. Bounces off tacklers. What a job by Morton, and he has a first down at the 42. They had him stuffed for a yard gain, and Morton kept those legs alive and found daylight to the outside.
It's amazing, Dick. You mentioned keeping the legs alive. You know, it's really amazing if you keep trying and you're a maximum effort player, as Morton is, good things seem to happen. There's some good blocks up front by Kendrick. Dante Kendrick had a nice block. And then he just kind of kept still upfield a little bit. Took a little bounce, but he didn't try to make a 50-yard run there. There he just knew where the first down marker was.
Well, first down, final seconds of this opening quarter. Van Raphorst is going to go long. And it is almost intercepted, but caught by Kareem Kelly. And the freshman is down at the 1-yard line. Oh, my, what a throw by Van Raphorst. 58 yards. D. Cooper thought he had the interception right through his arms to Kareem Kelly, the freshman, who leads USC with 25 catches this year. He's one of the members of that 4x100 sprint relay team. Hey, maybe gymnastics as well. And that is what an end to the opening quarter, Pat.
Remember on Harper they ran 3 hitches, and then here was the counterbalance, the counter punch. You go deep after you throw 3 hitches, but you're right, went right through D. Cooper's hands, but terrific concentration by Kareem Kelly for a 63-yard play.
Harper running as hard as he could, and Kelly just gliding as if this is too easy. When we come back, we'll start the second quarter. USC leading 7-0. They'll have first and goal at the Notre Dame 1 right after these words. Ready to go, second quarter. Dick Enberg with Pat Hayden, Paul Sunderland from Notre Dame Stadium, and the USC Trojans leading 7-0. Have it first and goal at the 1-yard line after the 58-yard pass to Kareem Kelly. Morton, the tailback. Morton plowing forward. He's close and stopped just shy of the goal line.
See who was the fullback that time for the Trojans was normally their left tackle, Mailo.
Faasea Mailo is 6'5", 330. Where's number 75? He's a Hawaiian sumo wrestling champion, just back from his Mormon mission in Japan.
How many did he convert, you think?
I have no idea.
2, I think. 2 is the word. But he lined up at fullback on that play.
Personal foul against the Irish. That came a late flag from under the pile. And half the distance to the goal line here will be inches.
Mark Bryan, they're going to call it right there on him. Wasn't really much of a push there. Didn't deserve a penalty in my estimation.
But that brings a first down with a foul, so it's first and goal from about the half-foot line.
And here he is again, that big old guard.
And there's Morton in the end zone for a touchdown, and USC takes a 13-0 lead, and Mailo led the way.
Yeah, you know, when you're a big old guy lined up in the backfield, you just want to remember the snap count. And Mailo remembered the snap count. And then Chad Morton just follows 330 pounds into the end zone. And Travis Claridge, number 71, he has a nice block here as well. The right tackle, 4-year starter, kind of knocks his man inside. Mailo kind of buries his guy.
That's unfair.
Well, that's a good guy to follow into the end zone, isn't it?
David Newberry to try the point after. Fox's hold, and it is good. So an impressive start for the University of Southern California. Oh, Mailo said, you know, it's just like sumo. You get a guy in a 15-foot circle and you just push him out. That's all you have to do. 14-0 SC. And welcome back to South Bend, where the USC Trojans have opened a 14-0 lead. This was a team down. There's Kareem Kelly, the man with a 58-yard reception to set up the score. He's one of the fastest on this super quick Trojan team, a 4.340, 10.28 in the 100 meters. The kick comes up short this time to Julius Jones at the 13. The 20 gets a little daylight, and he's out to the 30-yard line before being wrapped up around the ankles after a 17-yard return. And it was Matt Dalton, a backup quarterback, who made the tackle. A reminder to check out an all-new Third Watch. Third Watch tomorrow night on NBC. 14-0 deficit staring at Jarious Jackson and the Notre Dame offense with the 14.5 left here in the second quarter. The toss to Getherall. Who is he hammered at the 37-yard line? And coming over to make the hit was David Gibson, the strong safety, 215-pound former linebacker.
Boy, I remember Kevin Rogers, the offensive coordinator at Notre Dame, said to us yesterday, one thing we have to do is block those safeties of Notre Dame. There's his 120 plays right there. But he said they like to play their strong safety up toward the line of scrimmage. Richard, number 42, does a good job of forcing things inside to his teammate, David Gibson.
Gain of 7 on the play. Second down 3. With David Gibbons in motion, and the handoff inside to Jones out to the 40, be close to a first down. Zeke Moreno, number 9, the middle linebacker, to make the tackle. As you look at some of the other scores, look at Wisconsin. Big win.
What about Zeke Moreno, though? Outstanding linebacker, not the only linebacker in his family.
His mother was a tackle football player. Mom Arsenia played fullback and linebacker for the San Diego Mighty Mamas. I still won't wrestle with her, he says.
He says, I'm the second best linebacker in the family.
And his brother is with the San Diego Chargers. He's their quarterback on their practice squad. The toss to Gibbons, and the option is not working, folks, against this speedy USC defense, and it's got some folks here grumbling.
You're right, Dick. That was the 5th pitch on the option Notre Dame has run, and they've only gained 3 yards on those 5 pitches because you got speedy linebackers here and defensive backs like there. Abdul Molek here does a good job, good position there as well.
John Morgan, a backup safety, and on the tackle as well.
And this was really a concern of Bill Young, the defensive coordinator, defending this option, but thus far, they've done a pretty good job.
Loss of a yard on first down. Brown in motion. Off the fake, Jackson has a wide open receiver, Javen Hunter, who staggers into USC territory with a first down, and he knew there was more if he could have kept his balance. 15-yard play.
Yeah, it seems like they don't throw the ball to Javen Hunter much, but when the Irish throw the ball to Hunter, he always seems to come up with a good play, a big play. I mean, just one ankle tackle away from maybe going the distance.
That's John Morgan, the senior from San Juan Capistrano. Got just enough of him to trip him up at the USC 46. Good speed and Fisher behind Jackson. Down the middle, Gatherall just off his fingertips. Good coverage by a couple of Trojan defenders.
You're right,
Richard, one of them.
And Joey Gatherall has really been explosive for the Irish the last 2 weeks. 2 successive weeks, he has scored touchdowns on post patterns. Much like that. That was a little, what they call a skinny post. Just outside that reach of his. I guess he has a reach when you're 5'7", right? You still have a reach.
Well, he'll look at that and say, I should have caught it. His dad went to USC. His father wanted his son to follow, and that was a dream through his youth. And didn't happen, so he would really like to play well today. And so would Jackson, who is smothered on the quarterback draw. Now this USC team, Ryan Nielsen making the play, has been well prepared for the option and Jackson's draws.
Give Bill Young, the defensive coordinator, some credit, but number 90, Ryan Nielsen's one of those, maximum effort type of guys. Plays hard every down, all 60 or 70 snaps. And then Moreno, number 9, just kind of disrupting things in the middle. That allows Nielsen to come back around the corner from the backside.
It's 3rd down and 14. There's the defensive coordinator for the Trojans, Bill Young. So out of the shotgun, Jackson needing big yardage, and he runs right into the SC defense. Can he outrun him now? Still on his feet, but tackled at the 47, well shy of any first down. Marcus Steele on his heels along. Zeke Moreno was the man who almost got him in the backfield.
Paul Hackett looks like he wants to go into the game, but as long as he's got his linebackers playing like this, Moreno and Steele, number 55, a heavy dose of blitzes. And again, and right over, he runs right through Tony Fisher, then puts the chase on him and forces Jarious Jackson wide and deep, which allows Marcus Steele to make the play.
So Hiltbold into punt, and ever dangerous R.J. Soward back for USC as the Trojans bring 10 men up on the line of scrimmage. It's Joey Goodspeed, the up back. Hiltbold. Soward at the 12. And he's caught from behind. And a jersey tackle for Notre Dame by number 37. Terrence Howard, 32. A running back. Well, can Notre Dame now put the stops on this high-powered USC team? The Trojans lead 14-0. Notre Dame marching band, they'll be rehearsing the Anchors Away as the midshipmen will be here in 2 weeks. Notre Dame football returns NBC against the midshipmen of Navy. 73rd consecutive yearly meeting. Navy Notre Dame 2 weeks from today. Southern Cal leading 14-0, and Sultan McCullough on first down, a gain of about 3. Well, let's talk about Mike Van Raphorst. He was the starter a year ago, first 8 games, and relinquished that duty to Carson Palmer. Palmer this year, broken collarbone against Oregon, so back comes Van Raphorst. His career numbers, under 50% passer. It's a famous name. His dad, a kicker at Ohio State, and in the NFL, Dick Van Raphorst with the San Diego Chargers. And his brother was the Rose Bowl MVP with Arizona State in 1987. He throws complete. The good hands of Wendell Hayes, and he takes it out to a first down near the 35.
The other thing about Mike Van Raphorst, Dick, in this era of petulant and boorish behavior by athletes, I think one of the good things about Mike Van Raphorst, when he was benched, he really didn't, go into the tank. Didn't say, hey, it's the coach's fault, I want to transfer. He hung in there because he knew he was going to get another chance, and he's delivering with passes like that to Wendell Hayes.
He's a terrific student. 3.70 in political science and journalism, and already accepted to the MBA program at Southern California. Not easy to get in there. First down for Raphorst, down the middle, and a one-handed catch by R.J. Soward. First down at the Irish 46, a 19-yard play.
A week ago, the Trojans were one-dimensional. They could not run the ball. Minus 20 yards run. It just shows you if he can run the ball just a little bit, he's going to run this inside route. Now, you think of him as a speed guy, Soward, but this is a pretty good catch. Turned around and caught it with one hand, his right arm. But if you run the ball pretty well and you can protect the quarterback, you're going to have a lot of time to throw the ball downfield.
Now the give to Sultan McCullough, and the speedster inside the Notre Dame 40-yard line. A gain of about 8 on the play, and that Trojan sideline is fired up, and there are a lot of SC fans here. It's midterm break for Notre Dame. A lot of students go on. That meant tickets were available, and you see a considerable number of Cardinal and gold amongst the 80,000 sold out here at Notre Dame Stadium today.
Well, they brought the whole band. I happened to catch a flight with a band from Los Angeles.
You didn't? No, don't tell me. You didn't sit with a tuba guy.
You should have seen him try to get that tuba underneath the seat. I want to tell you, that was a tough deal.
Especially with all the baggage you have under there. The give to McCullough, and I don't believe he made the first down as Anthony Denman and Grant Irons with the defensive charge. But if you weren't with us earlier during the basketball game from Munich, we talked about how fast this USC team is. Now, you put those four together, and they probably could medal in the NCAA 4x100.
Yeah, as long as they didn't drop the baton, they're going to win it, right? And really, I mean, you've seen the speed already. Kareem Kelly catching that 58-yard pass. Soward using his speed. Gets a big cushion all the time.
And timeout is called. We'll stay here with the Irish facing a very stubborn USC team. 3rd down and 1 for Paul Hackett's team.
I think that's Sean Slocum right here to his left, Paul Hackett's left, the linebacker coach and special teams coach, son of R.C. Slocum, the head coach of Texas A&M. Very highly thought of is Sean Slocum.
And we talked about the other assistants. Not only does Paul Hackett have Ken O'Brien, many years in the league in the NFL, but he's got Mike Wilson, who is only has 4 Super Bowl rings. He's the receiver coach, played with the 49ers, and Dennis Thurman, of course, a former Trojan, played with the Dallas Cowboys, had some 35, 37 interceptions in his career. 36. Now, Dennis won't mind if it's
no, he loves that 37. I think I threw him about 14 or 15 of those. He loves to see me. Yeah.
When you were with the Rams, that's right. He liked playing DB against you.
Well, Sean Slocum has the responsibility of coaching the linebackers. He's got some good ones, and coaching special teams. And Bob Davie was worried about his special teams today. They missed 1 field goal attempt.
Bob Davie's looking a bit desperate, as well he should, with his team down 14-0 here in the middle of the 2nd quarter, and USC at the 38-yard line.
But you know what, Dick? We have seen Notre Dame enough this year. This is a team that does not get discouraged easily. You can get him down for a while, but they always seem to scratch and fight and claw and get themselves back in the ball game.
Chad Morton now the tailback. Van Rapport throws. Soward with plenty of room, and finally run out of bounds by Clifford Jefferson. So with the respect they have for Soward, USC just having him hitch up and making the 5-7-yard play.
You're right, Dick. Great call by Hugh Jackson, the offensive coordinator. And you must respect the speed. Look at the cushion, and now it's 3rd and 1. And so if you have an accurate passer like you have in Mike Van Rapport, if you run the ball successfully, you give him a chance. He had an 8-10-yard cushion, which you must give him. And until they stop that, that's the 4th time they've thrown that pass.
So from the 28-yard line, a reverse to Soward. He cuts inside a block and is finally wrestled down at the 20-yard line after a gain of nearly 8 more. Jefferson, the tackler.
You know who's really playing well for SC right now is Charlie Landrigan, their fullback. You mentioned him smallish. He's number 28, only 220 pounds, which these days is small for a fullback. But when you run inside isolation plays, he's the guy that has to root out linebackers. And Hugh Jackson is so far called a very interesting game.
8 minutes and a few seconds left in this first half. 14-0 USC, and they're down to the Notre Dame 20-yard line with a 2nd and 2. Chad Morton, a big hole off the left side. A first down, gets 5, gets 8 more. And the Trojans are at the 12-yard line.
Balance is what Paul Hackett, any head coach, wants, is balance. If you can run the ball with some effectiveness, it gives your quarterback a lot of time to throw. Great block on the left side there. I think that was Brent McCaffrey, number 68, who came in and really knocked his guy inside, allowed Morton to bounce outside.
Oh, first down at the 13-yard line for the Trojans. This is McCullough, hit right at the line of scrimmage. May have fallen forward for a yard. Anthony Denman with a solid tackle. It'll be second down and 9.
You know, you see Brent McCaffrey, number 68, who's actually on the field for USC playing left tackle. Some doubt that he was going to play. There he is. And
his dad was a teammate of yours, was he not?
He was a center on my team. He grew up on a farm in Fresno and was named to the All-America Farm Team by Successful Farming Magazine, which they used to have on their coffee table a lot down there in Fresno.
Good. Second down and 9.
I like that.
You really were plowing, huh? Throw to the end zone, but out of the end zone. And Windrell Hayes looking for a second touchdown reception was close. Boy, he does have sweet hands. We watched him in practice earlier in the week, and everything thrown his way, he gathers it in so softly.
But you know, when you run that corner route, you have to leave the quarterback enough room to be able to loft the ball over the corner. I mean, nice catch, and if you can end up anyway, you want to end up in the tuba section of your own band. But when he comes in, you have to leave enough room up top. He cut it off a little too sharply, and there wasn't enough room for the quarterback to drop the ball in.
Third down conversions, USC 4 of 5. This is a big one for Notre Dame, trailing 14-0. That's 3rd and 9 for Van Rapphorst. Throws wide open is Soward for the touchdown. How in the world could Soward have been that wide open? Van Rapphorst has his second touchdown pass, and the Trojans storm ahead 20-0.
Well, it's one of those things, Dick. You ask how he could get that wide open. I'll tell you why. When you have a blitz on, first of all, you're going to get one-on-one coverage. You match that, you know, with some defensive back falling down, which Clifford Jefferson did, and that's how he was so wide open. Blitz, force one-on-one coverage. Jefferson falls down. He gets in the end zone for their 3rd touchdown of the game.
And now the try for point by David Newberry. John Fox to hold. And a very impressive performance by Bald Hackett's USC offense. They've vaulted into a 21-0 lead. Just under 7 minutes remaining in this first half. And Mike Van Rapphorst, who had 3 touchdown passes all year, has thrown 2 in this first half. And can anybody cover R.J. Soward? Electric R.J. Soward, the 12-yard capper on an 83-yard drive by USC. Look at those last 2 touchdown drives, 82 and 83 yards.
What, on 4 possessions, 3 touchdowns.
Meanwhile, this Notre Dame team shut out at the Coliseum last year by USC 10-0, looking for its first points. Here comes Julius Jones. He's to the 30 and to the 34-yard line. Finally tackled by backup tight end Scott Huber. 18 on the return.
Dick, let's go back. You were asking why. You know, watch the blitz here first. Inside, you got man-for-man coverage. This is Soward here in the slot, and the free safety here has got post responsibility first. So he's worried about the post. Jefferson slips, and that allows Soward to break away from Deke Cooper, the free safety. So, you know, they gambled with the blitz. They got the one-on-one coverage. Jefferson slips. It ends up in 7 points.
Almost a must opportunity now for Jarious Jackson and Notre Dame, trailing 21-0. 6 minutes, 42 left in the first half. Jackson comes out throwing. Lots of time. Now wide open is Jones. Could go all the way. 25-20, and saving the touchdown was Ifeanyi Ohalete. 50-yard play.
Great call by Kevin Rogers. The Irish have run this play at least once every game. Usually Tony Fisher is the recipient of the pass. This time it's freshman Julius Jones right down the left sideline and wide open. And Ohalete, number 31, absolutely. He's down here, down this sideline. Again, linebackers inside. Bites here. And boy, I'll tell you, Ohalete saved a touchdown.
First down at the 18-yard line. The option. Jackson fumbles the ball. This can be returnable, but SC plays it safely, and Lonnie Ford recovers for the Trojans.
Well, one of the big questions in the game was, could USC defend the option? Indeed, they have. That's the first turnover for the Irish in 3 games.
And for USC, they lead the nation in fumble recoveries coming in, and that's their 12th of the year. That means somebody's doing a lot of hard hitting, and Jarious Jackson jarred free of the ball.
Well, they are just so quick, Dick, you know, with a lot of team speed. It was 57, Aaron Williams, who really popped the ball loose. And then Abdul Malik made the recovery. But you're right. Good penetration upfield by Abdul Malik, gets some help from Aaron Williams, and then 3 white jerseys around it. Just great defensive team speed.
Abdul Malik took it away from his teammate Lonnie Ford. Now they pitch back to Van Raphorst, and he's got Soward open, and the pass just not enough on it. Soward was 10 yards clear, but that would have taken an Elway arm to find him. He was 60 yards downfield.
Yeah, he got down there a little bit quicker. I mean, Van Raphorst earlier in the year said, you can't really overthrow this guy, and this is pretty good evidence of it. Nice call after a turnover. You try to come back with a big play. And look, I mean, that's what, 8-10 yards he's got. Thought he was fielding a punt, not a pass there, but he would have thrown that at least 75 yards.
He had half the Notre Dame defense trying to chase him down, and he had a 10-yard lead on him after the fumble recovery at the SC 33. Give it now to the new tailback. It's McKenzie, Malifo McKenzie. He's a 210-pounder from Mission Viejo, California. He's only carried 8 times this year, but they want to give him more chances. They like his style.
Yeah, what Hugh Jackson called him, a rolling ball of butcher knives was his description of him. That is, you don't want to tackle that. But he's very good at dinner.
He went to high school, same high school as Charlie Landrigan, the fullback, so they are familiar with one another. There he is. 3rd down and 4. Van Raphorst, slant, complete to Soward, and he has a first down at the Notre Dame 46-yard line. He's tackled by Ron Israel.
Think about the routes, Dick, that R.J. Soward has run. He's run a couple of hitches, he's run a couple of deep routes, and now he changed it up with a slant. So, Jason Beckstrom, number 27, trying to guard him there. Israel, number 37, double teaming him inside and outside. But I think it's the variation of patterns that SC has thrown at him that's made him difficult to defend.
Well, here's this great star, and he has only 20 catches this year and 1 touchdown coming in. This first half, they've dialed his number all right. 7 catches, 70 yards, and a touchdown for Soward. SC on the march again, leading 21-0. And McKenzie, maybe a yard or 2.
Well, it looked like there was a hole over that left tackle, but McKenzie was determined to run that ball inside. Really a different type of runner is McKenzie than both McCullough or Morton. Kind of guy that breaks tackles. And they felt they were going to need him to really kind of control the ball a little bit against a pretty good Irish defense.
So you saw Landrigan come back into the huddle, so they've got the teammates from Mission Viejo, Capistrano Valley High School, fullback and tailback. Watch out, Soward. He's to the bottom of your picture. That's Landrigan, the fullback. Van Raphorst looking for Soward, and it's over his head and out of bounds. Well covered that time by the Notre Dame defense. Paul Sunderland, what do you have for us?
Well, Mike Van Raphorst obviously having a very solid first half, and I talked to quarterback coach Ken O'Brien before the game, and I said, what was the real difference between Carson Palmer and Mike Van Raphorst? He said, Carson Palmer, a little stronger arm. But now that Mike Van Raphorst, with the injury to Carson Palmer, is the #1 quarterback, he's no longer looking over his shoulder. He's very comfortable in his role. He's a different kind of leader, and he knows our scheme. He knows how to pick up 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th receivers, and he's showing it. He's having a great first half.
All right, ball 3rd and 9 now for Van Raphorst at the 44. Good pressure. The throw intercepted by D. Cooper, and Cooper laterals. Johnny Sanders finally knocked out of bounds at the 48-yard line. That's a turnover that Notre Dame desperately needed.
Van Rapport's trying to get the ball to his tight end, Antoine Harris, on a crossing route. Threw it to him early. Really a good catch by D. Cooper. Poor throw out in front of the tight end, but really good stretch by Cooper. Then he finds his other safety, Johnny Sanders, hands him the ball and say, hey, see what you can do with this thing. These safeties have really played well, haven't they, Dick?
Those two men, and Cooper was a part of 3 turnovers last week. So Jackson looking for something big down the middle to Gatherall, and a first down at the 32 of USC.
David Gibson, the strong safety, slipped. And boy, has Joey Gatherall really, he gets on top of you so quickly, and he runs a terrific post pattern. It's a second post pattern the Irish have thrown to him. Doesn't waste any steps. And you say, how was he open? Well, David Gibson tried to number 22, just slips. There. But a well-thrown ball by Jarious Jackson, again, right on the numbers away from defenders.
3.5 minutes left in the first half. Jackson with the throw, deflected and complete as Sultan Abdul Malik able to get his hands on it, the linebacker. Arcadia, California. He was switched from defensive end back to linebacker this year. He's a natural pass rusher and has led the Trojans in sacks the last 2 years, a total of 15. Now a senior with another year of eligibility.
Well, playing the position his father, who then went by the name of Ed Powell, played so well for USC in the 70s.
Now it's second down 10, Notre Dame trailing 21-0. This series has been filled with great comebacks, and Notre Dame facing that possibility today. Jackson underneath the Gatherall, had to leap high, so there was no chance to get his feet under and drive ahead. And Ezekiel Moreno makes the tackle. His brother Moses was a fine quarterback at Colorado State and now in the San Diego Charger practice squad.
You know, and for Bob Davie, important down. It's 3rd and 4, Dick, and you know, you worry about your kicking game. You say, we're going to have 2 plays to gain this 4 yards. 3 minutes left in the first half. They really would like to get on the scoreboard before halftime.
And I don't think they'll try a field goal the way those have been failing.
Maybe have 2 runs or 2 Jarious Jackson plays.
Blitz on, picked up well, throw, incomplete. Bobby Brown had it right in his belly and couldn't pull it in.
Now, Bobby Brown may well have been thinking of that touchdown play he made last week on a very similar play. Caught the hook, broke a tackle, and scored. That time, sometimes when you're trailing by 21 points, Dick, you try to do too much.
That's a great throw by Jackson right there. Got through his hands into his body.
No, and now 4th down. This has been the problem for Notre Dame. They have no confidence in the kicking game, so they'll either try to draw them off sides, but if you're USC, you must watch Jarious Jackson on the draw.
4th and 4. Throw. What a catch by Gatherall as he was hammered by David Gibson, and the little guy hangs on. First down for the Irish.
Joey Gatherall has had a great first half.
5 catches for Gatherall, the 5'7" receiver from Hacienda Heights, California, Bishop Amat High School.
He's a lancer. I mean, you can't, make throws like that unless your offensive line's doing a good job. Starts with protection, a good read by Jarious Jackson, a drilled throw, and then a tough catch by Gatherall.
Yeah, he had to hang on with the left hand because Gibson was pulling the right hand away. First down just outside the Trojan 15. It's David Gibbons in motion. Jarious Jackson pulls it in and runs right into USC tacklers, Lonnie Ford and company, to make the tackle. Ford wearing a 25 at his defensive end position.
Well, he's a former tight end, is Lonnie Ford, only his 6th game, really. And you can see Bobby Brown, who's open on a post pattern. Again, it's the rush got him, but Bobby Brown was wide open in the end zone for a touch.
Timeout, 2:06 left in this first half at Notre Dame Stadium, where the Irish need points. Back at Notre Dame, this great rivalry. Southern California scoring on 3 of their 4 possessions. Notre Dame at the 16-yard line. A reminder tonight at 7:30. Game 4 of the National League Championship Series. Hey, the Mets got to go now. They're down 3 games to Atlanta. It'll be Rick Reed against John Smoltz. National League Championship Series. Bob and Joe at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific here on NBC. On second down, Jarious Jackson fires to Terrence Howard, and he juggles and drops, so probably wouldn't have gotten much Antoine Simmons right there for USC.
Well, you know, Terrence Howard is a guy that Bob Davies said to us yesterday, we've got to get him on the field more. Said this is a guy that, you know, slashes, tough player, can block, catches the ball pretty well. He said, you know, we've got a log jam there at halfback with Fisher, Driver, and Julius Jones, but he wanted to see more of Terrence Howard today.
And Jackson, who has rushed for an average of 100 yards the last 2 games, is minus 22 today. USC has really corralled the option and the draw. Third down. There's the draw. Look at that. They're all over it. Not a chance for Jackson. And finally, it's Lonnie Ford to make the tackle, but there's plenty of help inside. Almost tempting Jarious Jackson to try to run it, and then they collapse on him.
You know, there's no rushing. As these guys get to quarterback level, they fall back inside. That's what you do. You can't run past the quarterback. They knew that coming in. They said, we're going to get to quarterback level and then fall inside to stop the draw.
So here, always an adventure of late here at Notre Dame. A try for field goal, and this one will be from 37 yards. He missed a much shorter one earlier from 29. Snap a little low. The kick is up, and Miller has delivered. That's worth a cheer. As the sophomore has his longest field goal, and well, as a matter of fact, that is his first Notre Dame field goal.
The kickers always have to thank their holders. Terrific hold by James Caputo off a low snap, and then almost blocked by Antoine Simmons, but the ball got up quickly. But really, it was the walk-on James Caputo, 3.7 GPA in history, who gets the ball down and then allows his kicker to get it up.
A sigh of relief from young Miller, his first Notre Dame field goal. Notre Dame was looking for much more. Jim Sanson, a little adrenaline on that kick, and Soward has to take the touchback. It was interesting that Jim Sanson was the first over to congratulate Miller on his field goal.
That's great. That's great.
Coming up on the Sun America Halftime Report, Hannah Storm in our New York studios with the college football top 25 scores and highlights from Shea Stadium. Bob Costas and Joe Morgan preview tonight's game 4 of the National League Championship Series between Atlanta and the Mets. And Hannah will have highlights of the San Antonio Spurs in action from the McDonald's Championship in Milan, Italy earlier today. That's going to be a busy halftime here on NBC. Stay tuned.
The Braves just continue to have great pitching. Unbelievable.
Yeah, those 1-0 games are just as good as 10-1. Huh? Yeah, the Mets try to slow them down tonight at 7:30.
Double coverage over here on Soward.
Well, with a 21-3 lead, you even take a chance if you're USC.
Well, I think with 2 timeouts, I mean, you have to have confidence. I think in your offense, they've been pretty dynamic thus far. I'd press the ball upfield, take it to them.
Chad Morton is the tailback behind Mike Van Raphorst. And they give to him. Joe Farrar unable to make the tackle. And finally, it's Anthony Weaver and Johnny Sanders down low to make the stop.
Anthony Weaver, number 98 for the Irish, you know, has really made that adjustment from defensive end to defensive tackle. He had a real good freshman year as defensive end, and first few games he was making the adjustment, but now he's made that adjustment. This guy has a chance of being a real playmaker inside a defensive tackle.
I liked what he said to us yesterday. He said, you know, part of my time is to go to the grotto. He said it's really my spiritual power. When I need to really get inside myself and believe in myself.
Favorite part of campus, he said, yes. Right? Favorite spot.
They give to Morton, and as he hit, it's Grant Irons down around the ankles and Denman up high. So Morton stopped. It'll be 3rd down and short for USC, and Notre Dame will spend a timeout, but only 18 seconds remain in the half.
Well, they're going to at least try to force a punt. You stop them here, if you call another timeout, and you at least force a punt that you can try to block.
Well, for Bob Davie, undoubtedly already thinking about what do I say to my team at halftime. As USC, very powerful showing. There's the grotto, and it is a very special spot on this beautiful campus.
My favorite spot too. Every Friday I go there when I'm here on campus, light a candle for my mother.
The mother that wanted you to come to Notre Dame.
She still hasn't forgiven me. Yeah.
So that really is a candle of forgiveness.
Boy, yeah, it is.
Well, this is a fantastic series, and one need not look far back to know that the second half could produce something very special.
You know, it's interesting, you know, talking to both teams' players, they really do feel a sense of history in this game, kind of a continuum.
And the bands do. I was amazed. Even the bands, they claim they don't talk to each other.
You know, I talked to the Notre Dame band members yesterday. They said, you know, ordinarily we invite the opposing band to come up and talk, but no, we don't talk to those the Trojan band members.
Serious stuff as they give to Morton up the middle. He's hit it just shy of the 30 and did not make the first down, and there's a timeout called with 11 seconds, so they will force the punt.
You know, and again, if you're Sean Slocum, the special teams coach, you say to your snapper, Pat Swanson, get the ball back there in the bullet, and you tell the punter, I don't care if you kick it 20 yards, just get the ball off. Do not get this thing blocked.
There's Sean Slocum. Typical route by an assistant coach, isn't it?
Yeah, remember, volunteer assisted. That was when Bob Davie, right here in 1989, was the coordinator, the defensive coordinator at A&M. So he started his coaching career for Bob Davie.
And then a graduate assistant at Pittsburgh when Hackett was the head coach with the Panthers. And then back to his daddy's reach at A&M.
Family business, but he's going to make a name for himself.
Got the look, doesn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't look like he's spent much time with Bill Moyers, does he?
So to punt is Mike McGilvery.
These guys, they're coming.
And he gets it away. Julius Jones at the other end at the 30. Makes the first man miss. Time running out. 2 seconds. 1 second. Gets out of bounds with 1 second left at the 44-yard line.
Smart
so Notre
play
Dame.
by Julius, wasn't it? Smart play by Julius Jones. I mean, knowing that, you know, the point in the game, the ball was punted at, what, 11 seconds? You know, freshman, smart play by Julius Jones.
At 1 second, he's able to duck out of bounds and give his team one final chance before the half.
And we're better for the Hail Mary pass than at Notre Dame.
Well, Bob Davie's got to play just for this occasion, and the USC defense, of course, will align itself very deep. Jackson, Jarious Jackson out of the shotgun. 3 wides to the right, and Joey Getherall to the left. Jackson firing downfield. And is it? Yes, intercepted by David Gibson, his first of the season. And that's interesting. Paul Hackett calling his team to the sideline, letting Notre Dame go first. There have been some altercations as both teams head to the huddle. He wants to keep his team separate. They've done everything right in this first half, and they're even going to leave the field in a coached manner.
Yeah, you're right. Here's the SC team. Notre Dame's already in the tunnel. They both go through that same tunnel.
Don't even take a chance for young spirits to fire. How about that, Paul?
Well, some peacekeeping down on the sidelines, directing traffic, keeping the two teams apart, Paul. But other than the late turnover, the pass interception that led to a field goal, pretty much a perfect half on both sides of the football for your Trojans.
Well, I feel very good. You know, it's just a half of football, but I think, you know, playing here, the hype, the emotion is so great that you hope you come out and play with some poise, and that's the thing I'm the happiest with. We've played with poise to this point.
And you've also played so well on the defensive side of the ball. You mentioned that the option was going to be a problem, the quarterback draw a problem. Why has it not been at all?
Well, I think we knew coming into the game you have to stop number 7 in the running game, and if you don't stop him, you're going to have a long day. And I think our guys have risen to the occasion. I'm afraid they'll make some adjustments now, so we're going to have to be on the top of our game. That's not enough points.
All right, Paul, thank you very much. Best of luck in the second half. Back to you, Dick.
All right, Paul, and Hackett told us earlier in the week he has a 24-hour rule after the very disappointing loss to Arizona a week ago. He says, you got 24 hours, men, then the pouting's over. We go to the next game. His team has responded extremely well. So at the half, it's University of Southern California leading Notre Dame 21-3. 2 touchdown passes for Mike Van Raphorst. A single field goal by David Miller for Notre Dame. And now we take you directly to Hannah Storm, our New York studios, and the Sun America halftime report. We're back ready for the second half, and USC will get the kickoff, leading 21-3. Paul, what have you learned?
Well, talked to head coach Bob Davie from Notre Dame, and no panic. As a matter of fact, just a lot of sheer determination. He said, look, as bad as the score looks on the scoreboard at 21-3, give USC some credit. They have played exceptionally well, but we have to believe as an entire team, offense, defense, and special teams, what our plan was coming in and get right back to it. They have some confidence they can get right back in this game. Back to you guys.
All right, Paul, and there he is, the man, R.J. Soward. He's back with Chad Morton as Jim Sanson sends it on the way. And the senior kicker down to the 3-yard line. Here comes the All-America Soward, and he is hit right at the 20-yard line and buried there. 17-yard return, and Ron Israel with the tackle. 25 years ago, it was 24-0 Notre Dame. Anthony Davis scoring one of his 4 touchdowns, and then completing a 55-24 comeback. Pat Hayden, J.K. McKay, and USC would go on to win the Rose Bowl and the national championship.
You know, I always think it was a good thing to throw to the coach's son. You know, I was smart. McKay was the coach's son. I don't care if he was covered. You threw him the ball.
The people at Oxford University made note of that. That had a lot to do with your Rhodes Scholarship.
Yeah. Well, here's a guy you'd like to throw it to, R.J. Soward, and made some pretty good catches, too, in that first half.
Before a play underway, timeout, USC.
Now, that is a bad use of a timeout. Bad use of a timeout. They are very, very valuable, particularly when you're on the road. And we talked about Notre Dame being a determined team. We saw them come from behind Oklahoma a few weeks ago.
Let's look at the 2 quarterbacks, Van Raphorst and Jackson. Identical completion attempt numbers and very close in yardage, but it's Van Raphorst with the 2 touchdowns.
Mike Van Raphorst has played exceptionally well the first half, I think, for 2 reasons. Number one, they've run the ball and protected him that way. And secondly, his offensive line, but for one time, have really done a very good job of giving him time to scan the field.
Handsome young man from El Cajon down near San Diego, went to Helix High School, same school that produced Bill Walton. There are the possessions for USC. They scored their first ownership and then 2 long drives to build up a 21-0 lead. From the 20. Van Raphorst to who else? Soward. Been open all day. Got to figure he still will be, and out of bounds with a close to a first down at the 30-yard line.
And that's the 5th different type of route they have thrown to R.J. Soward. You know, again, this is just going to be a straight out route. We've seen the go, we've seen the hitch, we've seen the slant, we saw a hook. So Hugh Jackson is not only dialing his number, he's changing it up considerably. So good play calling by Hugh Jackson, nice delivery by Van Raphorst.
Dialing his number, and the Notre Dame defensive backs aren't even in the same area code.
Well, I don't blame him. I mean, keep things in front of you. You hope the offense is going to make a mistake.
8 catches now for Soward.
Big cushion here again.
First down play. Morton spinning out of a grasp of a tackle and gets 3 when there was really none. Devin Harper runs him out.
Devin Harper, number 10, is a guy we've talked about the last few weeks for Notre Dame. Has just done a sensational job, really. I think more so in the run game than the passing game. Been good on pass, but really good in the run game.
Eric Denman, the center from Dallas Carter High School down for USC.
They've had their share of injuries in the offensive line, which has led to some of the problems in the running game, Dick.
Jason Grain, the starting guard, injured a knee against Arizona, didn't make the trip. Brent McCaffrey, limited duty, knee and ankle injury. So those backup linemen doing a terrific job. Zach Wilson, Trevor Roberts, and Denman, who's been sharing the center job with Mac McShane.
Center Eric Denman right in here.
Oh, he gets his foot. Somebody was stepped on his foot and then pushed against it. So we'll take the timeout here, just underway in the second half. USC in command, 21-3. into the late afternoon on this unusually warm day as number 61, Matt McShane, replaces Denman, who limped off, favoring his right leg. Second down and a long 7. The throw over the middle, complete. And it's the wide receiver Wendell Hayes who scored the game's first touchdown, finally tackled by Deke Cooper after 22 more USC yards.
You love the slant route because it gives your wide receiver the chance to run with the ball after the catch. You know, if you run hook routes, you might catch it for a gain, but then you get tackled right away. But you're running away from a defender, and if the quarterback leads you properly, you can have a lot of big plays. That's about the 4th slant SC has run for a completion.
On first down, Chad Morton threw a big hole, and the tailback for the Trojans has another first down at the Irish 34-yard line before Grant Irons can track him down.
Well, they may play in a conference that doesn't feature power running anymore, the Pac-10, but USC is running the ball certainly better than they did a week ago when they had minus 20 yards rushing.
They've turned the tables on that statistic. It's Notre Dame trying to stay above the even watermark in rushing yards, and Morton himself now with 72 yards and a touchdown for USC. Gets it again, then hands it off to Soward. Gets a block and another from the quarterback, and down the sideline for the first down to the 20-yard line.
Van Raphorst looked like a fullback on that one.
Look at number 11, Van Raphorst leading the blocking for Soward.
Well, he's 6'5", 220 pounds, and
a hit out of bounds against Soward. They just can't get to him, so out of frustration, Deke Cooper.
Now, again, watch Van Raphorst, number 11, is going to get the block. He's out there running a little bit like he's got boxer bunch up, but still gets out in front of Clifford Jefferson and knocks him down.
And Soward was out of bounds when Cooper shouldered him into the USC band.
But think of the things USC has done with Soward. I mean, punts, kicks, that's his, what, a second reverse, maybe his third reverse. They've thrown him deep, they've thrown hitches, outs, ins.
And after the penalty, it'll be USC first and goal inside the Notre Dame 10-yard line.
And for Mike Van Raphorst, it's time for him to understand the situation of the game. 21-3, do not take a sack, and certainly do not turn the ball over.
Soward to the right, Hayes to the left. It's Morton on the sweep. Chase from behind, and the tackle by Rocky Boyman. The sophomore from Cincinnati St. Xavier with a big loss.
Rocky Boyman is one of those guys who just loves football. I mean, if he could play a doubleheader in football, he'd be the first guy to sign up. And if you played out in the parking lot, Rocky Boyman would show up there. Stretches the defense, stretches the run, and then just pulls down Chad Morton. So that's really a good play by Boyman, forcing him real wide and then making the tackle.
You know, Boyman is one of the many on both sides of fathers and mothers who were so much involved with the university, whether it was Southern Cal or Notre Dame. They wanted their kids to go to that school. Boyman out, and his replacement covering in the flat, Charlie Landrigan, and Landrigan staggering to the 12-yard line, may have picked up a yard.
And Landrigan comes up limping because that ball was thrown behind him. I think Van Raphorst twice when he's thrown the ball, the fullback has tried to take too much off it. He's got to drill it because Charlie Landrigan has done a terrific job of blocking this game.
Third and goal at the 12 is Brennan Oaks, O-C-H-S, a senior from Bethesda, Maryland, comes in.
And again, as a quarterback, you're up 21-3. Don't turn the ball over. You're in field goal range. Don't force it.
R.J. Soward to the left. Wendell Hayes to the right. They're looking for Hayes. Incomplete. He was covered well by the freshman Jason Beckstrom.
That's a smart play, I think, by Van Raphorst. Again, understanding where you are and part of the game.
Here comes the field goal unit for USC.
Jason Beckstrom, just a freshman. They think he's going to turn into a very, very good corner for the Irish in the years ahead.
From Jenks High School in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Newberry, who is 6 for 10, will try one that's 29 yards under the hold of John Fox. It's up, and it is good. Southern California, its first possession of the game, drove to a touchdown. Its first possession of the second half, gains 3. Paul Hackett helping it through. 2.5 minutes into the second half. Trojans build their lead back to 21. Back at Notre Dame, USC with a 24-3 lead on the 29-yard field goal by David Newberry. That was a 67-yard drive for the Trojans, who lost last week to Arizona 31-24. Were beaten in overtime at Oregon 33-30. High kick, Julius Jones, the freshman, to the 20. Flags down. Jones sprinting into the open. One man to beat, but will it count with a flag down? And it's Antoine Simmons with a tackle at the USC 39-yard line.
Boy, Antoine Simmons has been really good as the safety on these kickoff routines, because it looks like Julius Jones twice had a chance to go the distance.
It's been basically a penalty-free game, but that one is going to come for holding against Notre Dame and deny an outstanding return.
Just when the Irish needed a lift, too. You know, Dick, they really needed something to get themselves going. There's the push right there in the back. With Jabari Holloway, the tight end.
The penalty takes it back to the Notre Dame 29-yard line in a game, as we said, penalty-free, especially if you're rooting for the Cardinal and gold. They have not committed a foul.
Boy, they've committed a lot of them this year. 24-3 USC up, but we've talked about Notre Dame not being a team that gets discouraged. And against Oklahoma, that man brought him back from a 30-14 deficit for a win.
Tony Driver now the tailback. Quick throw, no, a fake to the flat, then the throw over the middle, and it's intercepted by number 31, Ifeanyi Ohalete of USC.
Penalty
flag down. And will this be the first call against the Trojans and deny the turnover?
Well, that was a cute little play. They faked that bubble screen and were trying to go deep.
The legal man downfield against Notre Dame. And did they rule it a trap is the other factor here. Yes, they have. Incomplete pass. Ohalete.
Ineligible receiver downfield on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
And Ifeanyi Ohalete upset with himself. He thought he had one. It's a good call.
Yeah,
not have control.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely a trap. Ooh, that one hurts too. That's a absolute trap. But you know, I really kind of like the play. Yards penalized. This is really remarkable. Against Oregon, one of those games they lost, they were penalized 21 times against Oregon.
First down and 15, Notre Dame. Getherall and Givens to the left. Jackson avoids the rush from Ford. Couldn't find an open receiver. Great coverage in the secondary for USC. Chris Richard and Ohalete.
That could have been a penalty on SC. I mean, it looks like they pushed Jarious Jackson when he was out of bounds. But first of all, I mean, Jarious Jackson making Lonnie Ford miss. I mean, Lonnie Ford, the defensive end, had a clean shot at him here. And again, he was good coverage down here. Everybody's covered. And then, you know, he gets out of bounds. I thought he was hit on the sideline. That could have been easily a penalty against SC.
Second down and still 15. Lost about a half yard on the play. The throw over the middle, complete to Brown, and Brown across the 40, and a first down, and hit hard by Matt's shoulders was Jarious Jackson as he threw the ball. That was a good concentration by the quarterback.
Yeah, you're right. Jarious Jackson, for a guy, as we said earlier, who's such a good runner, really patient in the pocket, waiting for somebody to clear, getting over those defensive linemen, in between defenders. I mean, really a strong throw after a very smart read by Jackson.
Boy, the quickness. Look at Moreno, how quickly he came back to assist on that tough tackle from the safety, David Gibson, who, as we said earlier, was a linebacker a season ago. There's the pitch back to Jackson. but no one open. He has to throw it away, and flags fly everywhere.
Joey Getherall was tackled. Joey Getherall, number 18, was tackled, and it wasn't necessarily a bad tackle because they were going for the big play. He may have gotten by the defender and scored. The defender felt that and brought him down. There was the same play, remember, SC ran earlier where R.J. Soward was wide open, the old razzle-dazzle. Started at Armada High School years ago, that razzle-dazzle play.
I remember the Tigers coming up with that.
We have defensive holding, intentional grounding on the offense. Those penalties were refused.
I didn't see the grounding. I sure saw the hold on Getherall.
Well, he threw the ball. He didn't have a receiver. Threw it out of bounds deep. Boy, that's a pretty thin call, but.
Well, Getherall's down here. You're going to see him get tackled, held there. Yeah, he was just dragged down by Simmons. So there's clearly a penalty.
And then when your receivers are tackled or covered, then you throw it long and out of bounds, and it's intentionally grounding. So it's no play. 1st and 10 at the 43. The score, USC 24, Notre Dame 3. A very slow start to the second half. Lots of penalties. And Tom Lipinski, like all the Irish runners today, stopped for little or no gain. Marcus Steele first to make the hit.
Well, you know, Dick, it's a surprise. You know, we watched the tape yesterday of USC against Arizona, and Arizona just ran all over them. And you looked at USC's defensive front, pretty smallish. You know, 245, 230 here, 260. And you figured Notre Dame was really going to be able to pound it at them. But Marcus Steele and Zeke Moreno in particular have played remarkably well.
The Irish rushers, 20 carries, 14 yards, a .7 average, 7/10 of a yard per try.
Very good math there, Dick.
Oh, good job by Jackson, but still unable to pick up more than just a yard as he dives forward. Boy, the Trojans playing fantastically well. They have done a great job of scouting Jackson's strengths and taking them away.
Yeah, you're right. And Bill Young, the defensive coordinator, has done a great job. Abdul Shaheed, number 52, and Moreno again. But Abdul Shaheed, number 52, misses him once, and he gets some help from Ennis Davis. But real good, quick upfield pressure, but they're not overrunning Jackson, not running by him. When they get to quarterback level, they fall back inside.
Tough to get away from those double hyphen guys. Shamsuddin Abdul Shaheed.
Well done.
3rd down 10. Here comes the blitz, and it's a screen, well called. Tony Fisher, however, tackled shy of the 50-yard line. It'll be 3 from a first down, a flag down.
Well, that looked like it had big play written all over, didn't it, Dick? Didn't that look like it was set up?
It sure did, especially against the blitz. Less defenders to work against. Now the call. Hackett with others, and Bob Davie certainly more than interested. Personal foul, USC. That'll give Notre Dame a much-needed first down.
Yeah, that was a giant penalty for the Irish because they would have forced a punt. And instead, they keep the drive alive. When you're down 24-3, you're looking for anything that can have left side of your screen. Right there, they're going to call the forearm to the face. They call that an olate. That's a stupid penalty.
Penalty takes it to the 34-yard line, and a first down Notre Dame. 9.5 minutes remaining in the third. USC leads by 3 touchdowns. Getherall in motion. And it's Driver plowing his way to the USC 23 and another first down.
And now I think Bob Davie feels like, you know, hey, I'm in 4-down territory. You're down 24-3, 9:15 remaining in the third quarter. I mean, every possession becomes important. You know, you average about 7 or 8 possessions per half. And so he figures he needs to get a touchdown out of this drive.
Terrence Howard comes in as a slot to the right. Brown wide right. Lipinski and Driver behind Jarious Jackson.
There's a mix-up in that coverage.
And it's the fullback Lipinski. And he could not elude the linebacking play of the USC Trojans.
Boy, David Gibson was screaming at his teammates because there was a mix-up in the coverage. Nobody covered the slot man for Notre Dame there. And for USC's luck, they ran the ball up the middle.
Yeah, that beautiful sunrise this morning in northern Indiana has changed to gray, and as you saw, some light rain beginning to fall. 2nd down 8. Jackson tempted to run, then throws underneath to Gibbons, and he's to the 5-yard line. David Gibbons' 4th catch of the year, 16 on the play.
Once again, really good patience. I mean, there's a lot of things going on in the quarterback's mind, and a lot of things that can happen. But Gibbons here, I believe he's going to come down here in the slot. And again, Jarious Jackson kind of steps underneath the rush. Gibbons just kind of settles. That's what a receiver has to do when he's working that middle, just settle in that dead spot.
See why Jackson has become the 3rd best passing efficiency quarterback in the nation. I mean, not only is he throwing with some pop, he's throwing so accurately, whether on the run or setting up, and a flag down in the end zone.
Yeah, you're right. 62% completions average for Jarious Jackson this season. I mean, really is remarkable.
Rating of 155.
It's going to be on SC.
Too many men on the field, I believe.
Now, somebody didn't hustle off the field. And Paul Hackett, 2 really bad penalties on this drive. A Stewart one by Ololate that forced or gave Notre Dame a 1st down when they would have had a punt. And it looked like somebody didn't hustle off the field. They got caught with too many men on.
So it'll be 1st and goal for Notre Dame at the 2.5. Jackson and the Irish hurrying up to the line of scrimmage with just under 8 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. Lipinski, Driver, and Fisher in that power formation. And Holloway before the snap. Now they'll take 5 back.
You know, I've always thought as a quarterback down in that situation, you never want to go on a long count, Dick. You know, everybody's just so anxious to get off the line of scrimmage. You go on a quick count or a 1, but you don't go on 2 or 3.
Prior to the snap, dead ball, false start, offense, 5-yard
Holloway's had rather a quiet season with only 6 catches. The big 260-pounder from Riverdale, Georgia.
You know, what he has to miss practice at least two days a week, or parts of 2 practices for a lab, an engineering lab.
But 1st and goal now from outside the 7-yard line. Getherall moves to the slot left inside Bobby Brown. Now in motion, Getherall. Jarious Jackson stops, throws back to the tight end. Touchdown, Dan O'Leary. Be a cheer from the Subway alumni for Notre Dame around the country. He's a product of mother and father, didn't go to college, Irish Catholics outside Cleveland. They sent their boy to Notre Dame. They've been cheering for this university for years and years, and O'Leary with his 2nd touchdown of the season.
Yeah, on the exact same play.
Try for point by Miller. Ooh, another tough snap, and a good job again by the walk-on James Caputo.
Dan O'Leary's the long snapper as well, and same play they ran last week. They call it why hide, and indeed he did.
Jackson, O'Leary, and it's 24-10 USC. Here's a senior from Westlake, Ohio, St. Ignatius High School, Dan O'Leary, with a touchdown that ends a long scoring drought for Notre Dame against USC. Jim Sansone And Soward will take the knee in the 20-yard line. That's a first touchdown for Notre Dame against USC in over 9 quarters. You have to go all the way back to the first quarter of 1997 for the last one.
Well, they call it Y high. Watch him down here. It's like kind of a salmon upstream. He's just going to block and block and block. All the action comes the way. He just kind of sneaks there. He is wide open. And it was, he was waiting. Those anxious moments when you're that wide open, as he told us yesterday when we spoke with him.
Well, the foul by Ocholete that kept the drive alive, instrumental in helping Notre Dame. He knows it. And now down at the Notre Dame student body end, Mike Van Raphorst will try to overcome the crowd noise. He goes to Soward, who dives. Is it a catch? Yes, at the 23.5. Short yardage for Soward, who continues to rack up the catches. That is 9th of the game for 83 yards. Well, they don't want him to beat Notre Dame deep, so they're going to let him catch the short balls and hope that they can punish him, but it hadn't worked so far. But
there has been a change of momentum, and what USC needs right now, more than anything else, is just a first down. They don't need a home run, a first down.
2nd and 6, Sultan McCullough gets the handoff. Breaks one tackle, but not the second wave, and it's a loss. Joe Farrar made the hit, number 41. Irish hopes begin to burn here. With that play, it'll be 3rd down and 6. Third down, 11 rather. 3rd and 11 for Van Raphorst. Lots of time. Throws incomplete. Flags fly. It was Kareem Kelly, the intended receiver, and one would suspect he was held.
The Notre Dame guys are jumping around like it's against USC.
Oh, perhaps it was Kelly with a push. Holding is the preliminary signal against Southern California.
Yeah, offensive pass interference. You don't see that called much.
So Notre Dame, a rare occasion for Bob Davies' defense, 3 and out against USC.
Hard to knock Notre Dame out.
Oh, trailing by 14, 24-10 here at the 5:55 mark. Look at Kareem Kelly pushing off against Clifford Jefferson.
That's a good call. That is a good call.
Ball was very nearly intercepted. Listen to this crowd at Notre Dame Stadium.
On the offense, penalty refused, 4th down.
So Mike McGillivray to punt. He'll deliver from around his 10. Julius Jones stands at the Notre Dame 40. High. Jones fair catch at the 43. So Notre Dame good field position on a 38-yard punt. Jarious Jackson straps it on, and here comes the offense for Notre Dame. 5:48 remaining in the 3rd. 24-10 SC.
Well, I'll tell you, both offensive coordinators have really called, I think, interesting games, and in particular the second half. Kevin Rogers, just a moment ago, we saw him call that Y hide. And what he hopes to have in this all these plays down there is at 120 of them. It's kind of a fake option pass, a fake option, and throwing the ball downfield.
Basically, we've seen how the USC cornerbacks right up almost on the line of scrimmage on that option.
It could be there.
A good day passing for Jackson, but miserable running.
This is the formation.
And here comes the pass, looking deep. Has to throw it away.
That was the play. That was the play Kevin Rogers wanted. After a change of possession, he felt he could get his tailback, Tony Driver, down the sideline for a home run. But well defended.
Credit David Gibson, Pat Hayden. David Gibson, number 22, went right with Jabari Holloway. He didn't bite.
Remember, Kevin Rogers said to us yesterday, we have not thrown a pass off the option all year long. and we're going to save it for SC because we think we can get a home run.
Boy, Southern California did an outstanding job of scouting Notre Dame. They're ready for everything. 2nd and 10 at the 43, and Jackson back in the shotgun. Throws off balance together all in a crowd at the 50-yard line. A pickup of about 7.
You know what you ought to do for Joey Getherall? I mean, you don't even bother with, you know, from the hash mark to the numbers on either side. Just give him that territory between the hash mark. That's Getherall country. Right in between the hash marks.
Estate Getherall.
Yeah, absolutely. This guy is as tough as you can get. No wasted steps, no wasted motions, and when you throw it, you know he's going to catch it, even though he gets drilled.
That's a talented family. His 2 sisters both went to college and starred in softball. One at Florida State, one at Cal State Northridge. The draw. Jackson can't get loose. And again, Notre Dame denies. Is denied by Southern Cal as Ennis Davis and Marcus Steele ready for the quarterback draw.
You see why Marcus Steele was the JC Player of the Year. I mean, he has got unbelievable recovery speed. I mean, even when you have him beaten, he can recover.
Now at midfield with Notre Dame seemingly grasping the momentum and the emotion of this game, Southern California stops him.
You're ever going to run a fake punt, this is the kind of territory you'd run it.
That's Joey Goodspeed. The up back. And Hillbold gets a wobbler. Fair catch Soward. And he'll start from about the 13-yard line. Now Southern California escapes that exchange. A 38-yard punt. 4 minutes. 9 seconds remaining in the third. The Trojans by 14. SC gets the ball back, but they're again in front of the very vocal Notre Dame student body at the 13. Van Raphorst. Whoa, is Hayes hit? Wendell Hayes a hit, but holds onto the ball as Anthony Denman with a crushing tackle. Paul?
Well, Eric Denman, you talked about the student section. Well, he's the starting center for USC and was helped off the field a couple of series ago. Good news from USC side. It's just a right knee sprain. They put the brace back on, taking it off. He is available to return. The center and quarterback exchange very important, particularly in front of the student section. Back to you guys.
All right, Matt McShane, you see, at center. Denman injured. Denman made the tackle. They're not spelled their names the same. And again, it's out in the flat and complete to Wendell Hayes and a first down.
You know, sometimes it's tough to be patient in the passing game when you have so much speed, but Hugh Jackson, the offensive coordinator, is being patient. He's taking his shots, but he realizes, hey, with that big cushion, I'm going to throw it in front of him. You know, and again, big cushion here, and you respect the speed, but that is open all day long. And Hugh Jackson keeps calling the play, and the Trojans keep completing it.
Wendell Hayes injured earlier this year. Chad Morton stuff. Back to Wendell Hayes. He came back to the lineup against Arizona and caught 8 passes, a touchdown. He has 5 catches and a touchdown today. And he's, you know, by the speed we've been talking about, he's average for USC, but he's very fast when it comes to defending if you're Notre Dame.
But, you know, Mike Van Raphorst said to us this week about Wendell Hayes, he said, you know, he's our most complete wide receiver, a really smart guy, knows how to get open, then kind of finds those open spots and settles down.
Transfer from San Jose State, where he led the Spartans in receptions 2 years. In the flat to the fullback, and it's Landrigan driving to the 40-yard line before being pushed out of bounds a yard and a half short of a first down.
You know, I think all, and Paul Hackett knows, is all USC receivers and backs with 2:38 remaining in the third quarter, up 24-10. You want to stay in bounds if you can, Dick. And if you're Notre Dame, obviously you want to get guys out of bounds. So you talk about knowing the situation, the game situation. If you're Van Raphorst, don't force it. Don't turn it over. If you're a receiver or running back and you get close to the boundary, stay in bounds.
Notre Dame fans knowing the importance of every play now as the rain falls more heavily. 3rd and 1. They're on their feet. Van Raphorst underneath, complete to Soward. And D. Cooper wraps him up at the 43. Soward collects his another catch, 17 yards and 10 receptions now for R.J. Soward.
And a great throw by Mike Van Raphorst. I mean, he has had a heck of a game as well. Hanging in there patiently, knowing the situation of the game. those slants, you know, from the 50 yards away, they look like they're easy throws, but there's a lot of people in the little lanes you have to find your way into. A good drill shot by Van Raphorst.
First down at the Notre Dame 43. 3 wide receivers. Actually sent MORTON out to the right. Chased as Van Raphorst. Now flips it incomplete. Intended for the tight end, Antoine Harris.
Do you see Brent McCaffrey, the left tackle? Kind of slip and slide. He got pushed, and the sod got so wet, he was just sliding. It looked like he was on ice as he was kind of getting pushed back. He's down here. Watch what's going on there. Just going to, whoa, baby, hang on. Hang on. You know, the successful farming magazine All-American. Who else do you think?
You like that, don't you?
I do.
It's just harrowing away.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he grew up on a farm, and that magazine, I know, is on his coffee table.
All the wide receivers are apple pickers. There's MORTON. And he slips down at the 38, a gain of 5, brings up 3rd and 5.
And for Notre Dame, an important 3rd and 5. 2 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. Again, what they really need is a drive-stopping kind of play.
Unusual weather with it raining, and yet you've had the sense that off to the west it's sunny.
Tell you one thing, I would make sure that I double cover J.R. Soward, short and long. If someone's going to beat me, it's going to be somebody else.
Well,
here's Soward down here.
And hit and a fumble. It's a returnable. Picked up by Denman, and Denman has Notre Dame at the USC 37, and they're going crazy here in South Bend.
A week ago, Mike Van Raphorst fumbled. Arizona returned it for a score. It's raining pretty hard. He gets hit. Trying to get rid of it is Israel. Ron Israel, who really forced the fumble. And then Denman nearly scores.
Oh, Notre Dame trying to take advantage here late in the 3rd quarter, trailing by 14. And it's young Julius Jones high-stepping to the 31-yard line and a gain of 5. Zeke Moreno made the tackle.
It was Ron Israel, number 37, who comes cleanly right up the middle. He forced the fumble. And then Denman's off to the races. Van Raphorst does the best thing he can do is just kind of hog time and bring him down.
Joey Goodspeed, now the fullback. Jones the tailback. Jarious Jackson on that 2nd and a long 4. The throw out to Getterall. Gets a block. Out of bounds, but a first down. Notre Dame at the SC 25.
Positioning error that time by Antoine Simmons, the corner for SC. When you're out there alone, you've got to force things inside. Antoine Simmons, who's done a good job so far, but watch, he's going to get hooked inside, and the play goes outside him. When you're the last man in containment, force things inside where you get some help. Good block by Bobby Brown. These wide receivers at Notre Dame, and Antoine Simmons actually said it, best blocking receivers they play.
Saw Getterall break the huddle. He slotted left. He has 7 catches to lead the Irish. First down at the Southern California 25 in the final minute of the 3rd period. On the option, Jackson keeps. Slammed down at the 17 after a gain of 8.
Notre Dame's got it going now, and the band appreciates it. They got the option going for the first time this game. They got Joey Getherall working the middle, and I tell you, Jarious Jackson looked like he's banged up a little bit.
He did come back slowly, trying to hide some pain.
He was going to keep this one the whole way, and he is a determined, strong, tough, disciplined runner.
Took a solid hit. 3 different Trojans. Ball spotted at the 16 with 12, 11, 10 seconds. Possibly the final play of this period. 2nd and a short 2. Jones has the first down and wrapped up at the 13-yard line, and that is the end of the 3rd quarter here at Notre Dame. The USC Trojan rivalry has a strong heartbeat now. on both sides of the field. Notre Dame threatening to score as we move to the fourth quarter. USC leading 24-10. 54 consecutive years these two universities have met in football. 70 of 73. Only World War II interrupted the series that began in 1926. And when you say rivalry, sometimes those are an empty term. Not in this series. Is this another one? If Notre Dame scores here, we may have a beauty. From 3 touchdowns down, SC leading, and a flag down as Jones on first down goes to the 10-yard line.
I don't know, there's confusion. Joey Getherall went up to Jarious Jackson while one of the receivers was in motion.
And of course, there was a confusion in the Purdue game that led to a failed play down near the goal line that may have cost Notre Dame a win.
Yeah, Joey Goodspeed. I mean, in the middle of a play, I don't know whether he didn't have the count or what, but you can't go up and patch a quarterback on the behind when you have a man in motion. See, he's coming here. Yeah, see, it's just too many guys moving around.
So a costly 5-yard penalty for the Irish to open this fourth quarter.
Shift on the offense, 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Playing now with a wet football. They mark it back to the 18-yard line. Down 21-0 early. Notre Dame with a field goal to end the first half. Southern California with a field goal to open the second half, and a 24-3 lead. A Jarious Jackson play has led to Dan O'Leary's touchdown to make it 24-10, and now the throw in the flat and almost intercepted as diving through is Chris Richard.
Was Joey Goodspeed wide open, though? I don't know whether the ball's too wet to throw or what, but Joey Goodspeed, the fullback, was wide open in the left flat. He's number 45, right down here. Everybody's coming inside. He catches this on time. Maybe he scores. You know, all he has to do is turn up that sideline.
Yeah, it looked like Jarious Jackson lost the handle, didn't it?
Absolutely, boy. Fullbacks in the passing game, I've said this for years, always seem to be wide open on any level, high school, college, and professional.
Second down, 15. Fisher and Jones sandwich Jarious Jackson. Good protection. Now he scrambles, gets outside, 15, has a blocker at the 10, and dives inside the 5-yard line.
Well, Terrence Howard did a great job of blocking coming back, and he's hurt, is Terrence Howard. But Dick, Jarious Jackson had Terrence Howard for a touchdown down the left sideline. Number 32, he's the man down after throwing a devastating block for Jarious.
So they tend to Howard, who came off that block limping. The ball is shy of a first down. It'll be third and a long one.
Well, you know, watch 32. He's going to be wide open for a touch. But then he ends up, when Jarious starts scrambling, comes back and throws a key block. But this is what Jarious Jackson's done so well. Anytime you get a little running lane there, here comes the block on Moreno. Boom. And that's where he was hurt. One more time down here.
Jarious Jackson never looks left.
Yeah, look at him, wide open he is. Wide open.
Said, I just got you out there so you could block for me.
I mean, it turned out to be a nice play, but it could have been a touch. Now it's what, 3rd and 1?
3rd and 1 at the 4-yard line. Trailing 24-10 early in the fourth quarter. Power T. Give it to Driver. He has the first down at the 2.
Apropos name for that play, Tony Driver. And he has been a very good short yardage back for Bob Davie. Scored touchdowns down in this area. They like to give the ball to him off tackle. And when they need it on 3rd and 1, you know your offensive lineman, it's their kind of down. Really good lead block there. I think that was Goodspeed on the lead block. And Driver just kind of followed that in the push of his offensive line.
And Fisher was right there with Goodspeed, shoulder to shoulder. That's Fisher now on a wing. on 1st and goal. Outside the 2. Driver, touchdown Notre Dame. Rocking in the rain in South Bend as Notre Dame, down by 3 touchdowns, has pulled within 1, but this extra point critical, and they've had trouble with the snaps and holds. It's Miller to kick. Caputo has been outstanding holding. Another trouble, and it's blocked. Picked up.
Still alive. I mean, a real poor snap again on the extra point. We have seen it for 4 weeks here. They've had trouble with the snaps on the field goal and extra point attempts. Low on the ground.
Big, big, big. And Antoine Simmons has been breathing down the kicker's throat all day here in South Bend. Able to smother it.
Yeah, you try to stop Tony Driver. Jim Jones, number 55, coming around the corner.
Good news for Notre Dame, 6. Bad news for Notre Dame, 6. And it's USC maintaining the lead, 24-16. Well, it's a big lift for the USC Trojans. Antoine Simmons blocking the extra point after a bad snap. Notre Dame trails by 8 as Sanson kicks it off. And through the rain and the wind, he turns Soward around and sends him out of the end zone on the touchback. 13:25 remaining in the 4th quarter. SC by 8.
Well, 8-point game because of this missed extra point. Antoine Simmons over here is going to block it after a low snap, bobbled ball. Comes out. Antoine Simmons has just a habit of this. Blocked 3 kicks a year ago and 2 today. Right off the corner here. And again, it makes it an 8-point game. So if Notre Dame holds and scores, they have to go for 2.
Oh, USC with the lead, 8 points, and the ball now at the 20-yard line. Chad Morton, the tailback, gets the call, eludes, and drives to a first down if they spot it at the 30, and they will. Cooper and Sanders, the 2 safeties, collaborate on the stop, and you see the rain heavier, and it appears the wind has turned more left to right back into the face of USC.
Absolutely. Southern California quarterbacks, trust me, do not like playing in this kind of weather.
First down at the 30, 10 more yards for Morton, who has 80 today after 128 last year. This time dropped after a 3-yard plunge.
And we talked to Travis Claridge, the offensive tackle for USC, earlier this week, and said, hey, when you play Notre Dame, you know it's going to be a battle. And this is the kind of game you want if you're an offensive lineman. You're trying to protect an 8-point lead, and you want to grind out some first downs.
Claridge has not forgotten the fact that he couldn't matriculate here at Notre Dame. He had a Notre Dame banner on his wall as a kid in Elmont, Michigan. Eventually graduated from high school up in Vancouver, Washington. Then Rapport's throws incomplete, and Soward juggling as he seemed to have his man beaten, but the ball was late arriving.
You're right. He had his man beaten. The ball thrown a little bit high by Mike Van Rapport's big play that time for Notre Dame. He was open. Once again, that cushion is as large as the Louisiana Purchase out there on that side. I mean, there's a big old cushion.
3rd down and 6.
That's a lot of territory. Yeah.
Well, you have been studying. Van Rapport, good protection. Guns it down the middle. Incomplete and almost intercepted as the helmet goes flying. Johnny Sanders making the hit on Wendell Hayes.
2 receivers open, 2 high passes.
And the punting team on for Southern California. Boy, Hayes did a great job to get up that high and almost make the catch. And look at the hit on Hayes by Sanders.
You just know when you're a wide receiver and they call that crossing route, you're just hoping for a ball on the numbers, not anything high.
Here comes the punt. McGillivray, and off the side of his foot, and that's going to wind up in Notre Dame in Southern Cal territory at the 43-yard line, a 10-yard punt. Boy, Paul Hackett doing a lot of psychological work now. 3-touchdown lead is melded. Notre Dame and this crowd sense a big comeback. Will return with 12:18 left in the fourth. Short Southern California punt. It'll be Notre Dame at the 43. Let's go back to the hit by Johnny Sanders on Wendell Hayes.
You wonder why mothers want their kids playing tennis.
And Hayes walked off as if, hey, I don't need the helmet anyway. Valiant effort by the wide receiver for Southern California, but a bad kick in this rain, and undoubtedly the wet ball affecting play on that last series by Van Raphorst.
Yeah, missed two open receivers.
First down at the 43, trailing 24-16. Jones. Not much there, except white jerseys.
Yeah, you're right. USC needs a stop. And when you're doing that, you look to Zeke Moreno, number 9, to do the stop.
You know, his mother and father took in over 100 foster children all as he grew up. He said he loves kids, and he'd come home, and all of a sudden a young boy or girl that'd been there was gone. They go to another foster home, and he said it's always saddened me, and I'm going to try in my future to be able to bring nothing but happiness to young people. He goes to schools and talks and devotes his time. He's a terrific young man. Just a junior. Second down and 8. Play action. Jarious Jackson fires incomplete, and the ball squirting through the hands of Bobby Brown. Reminder, Game 4 of the National League Championship Series not too far away. Atlanta Braves trying to sweep the Mets. Can they put on the brakes tonight? It's 7:30 Eastern with John Smoltz and Rick Reed, the pitchers.
You know, Dick, I think Kevin Rogers, the offensive coordinator for Notre Dame, you know, with 3rd and about 8 here, has to be thinking a little bit, hey, maybe it's 2 downs for us. Still 11:30 remaining in the 4th quarter, but, you know, maybe you don't want to punt it. Maybe you say we're going to go take 2 down to try to get these 8 yards.
Linesman comes in to whistle the clock dead. Jarious Jackson now with 17 for 27, 218 yards, a touchdown and an interception. He's on a string of 200-yard passing games. Could wind up this season with the most productive passing quarterback in Notre Dame history, and that does cover some territory.
Yeah, we're talking about Joe Montana for one, Joe Theismann for another, Terry Hanratty.
Back through the likes of Heward and Guglielmi and Hornan. Blitz on, quick throw, great catch, flag down. O'Leary fighting through 2 defenders to pull it in.
Yeah, that'll probably be pass interference, which will give him the first down, but what a catch by Dan O'Leary.
Yeah, the catch is not good enough for the first down. It's 2 yards shy, but a penalty would. And they'd certainly welcome that. And they get it.
You know, it's really tough to stop the momentum, particularly when you're on the road. You know, you saw that ejection. Well, that didn't look like pass interference there, did it? Came over the top, maybe earlier in that play, but it's really tough to get that momentum turn. And you saw that look by Paul Hackett. He feels that it's turned. This guy knows he's got it.
Well, it's the fire momentum, and the fans
on the defense, holding an eligible receiver beyond the line of scrimmage. The pass went beyond the line of scrimmage. This is a 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic.
Okay.
First down.
Not pass interference. It was holding. Yeah, it's defensive holding right there. Yep. Not pass interference, but was a good call. Defensive holding.
And what a catch. And you see how wet the ball has become. Very slick looking. First down at the 32 of Southern California.
You know, but I always thought it was an advantage for wide receivers in conditions like this, Dick. I mean, wide receivers know exactly where they're going. Corners have to react, so you see a lot of slipping and sliding by corners.
O'Leary shifts over to the right side, the tight end. Getherall is split right. And in motion. Fake. Jarious Jackson looking downfield. No one open. Takes off. And is driven out of bounds by Marcus Steele.
Well, it sure looked like number 18, Joey Getherall, had it open on a crossing route, but Marcus Steele, once again, he's got that great catch-up speed.
Steele is 6'3", listed at 215 pounds.
Came into the game with, really a varied plate of activities. 2 sacks, 4 passes deflected, an interception, touchdown, 2 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries.
Boy, I think that's a statistic that is overlooked more than any other, is forced fumbles. And he's got 2 of those. 2 of 12 for USC to lead the nation. 2nd and 5. On the option, Jarious keeps, looks for a block. Oh, a great defensive play. Sliding was Chris Richard to dive in at the ankles of Jarious Jackson and trip him up.
The option play to me is always unusual to see when you see defenders running away from the ball carrier. Abdul Malik ran away from Jarious Jackson even though Jackson had the ball, but disciplined defense, his responsibility was the pitch man.
Enough yardage for the Notre Dame quarterback, the 230-pound Jackson, to pick up the first down at the 20-yard line.
10:45 remaining in the game, 8-point game. And one other thing, remember USC burned a timeout very early in this half. That could really come back to haunt them.
That's David Gibbons shifting into the backfield. And the give is to the fullback. And Tom Lipinski a couple of yards. But from end to end, the interior defense for USC has been superb all day.
Again, really a bit surprising because they are certainly smaller than the Notre Dame offensive line, but Bill Young, the defensive coordinator, has got a good little scheme going, and most of that is have those 4 guys up front clear the way for Moreno and Marcus Steele.
You think Lonnie Ford is at 245 one end and Childers only 260 at the other. Every offensive lineman for Notre Dame 300 plus. 2nd and 8. Jackson keeps, and they wrap him up for no gain, maybe a yard loss.
Disciplined run by Jarious Jackson. You see the option. He wanted to pitch it, but good disciplined defense. They had the pitch man covered. He did the right thing. He didn't force it, and he lived to see another day.
Watch 9, Moreno.
Yeah, right down here. Really good. They had the pitch man, they had the quarterback covered, and a much stronger defensive effort than a week ago against Arizona.
No gain, and Paul Hackett's Trojans now dig in 3rd and 8. USC leading by 8 points, so Notre Dame may think field goal if they fail on this first down effort.
I don't know, after having 2 of them blocked, I'm not so sure.
Jackson, lots of time. Now it breaks down, and he's caught from behind. Number 55, Marcus Steele, and 58, Matt Childers with a tackle at the 15-yard line. And out comes the field goal unit.
Boy. Give Bob Davies some credit. He believes in these guys. The problem has been snaps, low snaps, and they've got to block Antoine Simmons, number 6 for USC, who's come off the right corner to block 2 extra points.
The campus is full of concession stands on Saturday. They're going to have a cardiac station to get your pills before the game.
Well, they switch up Simmons. He's down here now, not the right side.
33-yard attempt. The kick is up, and it is good. 24-19. 16 unanswered from Notre Dame.
You talk about great comebacks in this series. If Notre Dame can hang in there and pull this one out, it would be a great Irish comeback.
Yeah, the notable comebacks in the last 40 years have been from the USC side. Is this the day for the Irish? David Miller, the young kicker, grew up in this area of South Bend, went to Penn High School. Bob Davie, I'll take the 3. A touchdown could win it now for SC before Notre Dame. Southern California led 24-3 early in the 3rd quarter, then 16 unanswered points, 2 touchdowns, an extra point missed. Now the field goal by young David Miller. to pull the Irish within 9, and Sanson delivers another long kick, and Soward will have to take the knee. So they've been able to deny Soward on kick returns with Sanson's strong leg.
Yeah, give Jim Sanson, a guy who was demoted from the field goal kicker, a lot of credit for hanging in there, and really that's an important kick right there.
Well, the Notre Dame fans now are going to make it as noisy as they can for Mike Van Raphorst and the Trojans, as you see the time of possession switch to Notre Dame.
Well, SC has only had 13 plays this second half. Notre Dame has 33.
Chad Morton is the tailback for the Trojans. Fake to him. Van Raphorst chased, throws, and falls 5 yards short. And he's having trouble with the ball, no question.
R.J. Soward, again, was wide open for a touchdown, Dick. He ran a little out and up, and he was open for a touchdown by 15, 20 yards. I mean, Mike Van Raphorst, with that wet football, could not get enough oomph on him. Watch, again, the big cushion. He's going to run an out and up. Good call. There's the out. Bites on it.
Oh, my.
I mean, it's a touch.
And as you well know, Pat, when you're running and throwing with a wet ball, you don't have that luxury of setting it up with the left hand. It's tough to get a good grip. 2nd and 10. The quick throw to the middle to Hayes, and he is hammered at the 25-yard line. A gain of 5, maybe 6. Antoine Jones and Clifford Jefferson in on the tackle.
When you say hammered, that is an apt adjective, because Wintrow Hayes got hammered, the chisel, and the whole toolbox. Yeah. I mean, wow.
3rd down, a short 5. Need to get to the 30 for a first down.
Most important 3rd down of the game.
Chad Morton goes off the field saying, come on, SC fans, let's hear you. I don't think Van Raphorst wants more noise. The throw, caught. And it's Hayes again. And the senior veteran pushed out of bounds at the USC 45-yard line. First down, Trojans, an 18-yard play.
You know, great play by Hayes. The only comment at the end, I think you stay in bounds, Dick. You know, time is in your favor when you have the lead. Okay. Now again, terrific slant route in here. He sets it up by going upfield and then cuts underneath Devon Harper. Now you got to know, hey, I've got the first down. That's my first goal. Stay in bounds.
They spotted at the 44-yard line as Hayes has hit the century mark with 7 catches. What a 1-2 punch. R.J. Soward with 10 receptions and Hayes with 7. Van Raphorst almost tripped coming away from center. Gets it out to Chad Morton, and the little tailback scoots across the 45 to the 46-yard line.
Well, again, I sound, I don't know, again, he's getting out of bounds. I mean, you have a 5-point lead, 6:52 remaining in this 3rd quarter. Now, that would have been tough. He had a tough angle. I mean, his momentum was carrying him out of bounds, but you're talking about presence in a game, knowing the situation of the game, when you're the quarterback, when you're the running back, when you're the receiver.
USC 24, Notre Dame 19. Soward with 10 catches, 101 yards to the left. Hayes, 7 catches, 101 yards to the right. Tipped and incomplete, and Hayes was the man that Van Raphorst was trying to find. That'll bring up 3rd down and 8.
Well, I think had the wide receiver and the halfback stayed in bounds, USC could have run off maybe 2 minutes on the clock. Instead, the clock stops. 3rd and 8, 6:48 remaining in the game in a 5-point game. Yeah, good. Lamont Bryan getting in the way again.
3rd down, 8. Van Raphorst to the sidelines. Leaping catch, but he didn't come down in bounds. And in college ball, it's not that you can be pushed out of bounds. You have to get a foot down.
You're absolutely right. Different than the professional rule.
So it'll be 4th down and 8.
And Paul Hackett calling on his defense, saying, let's go. Good play there. Jason Beckstra, man for man on him. Ball thrown high again, and then that's just a good play.
Yep. if indeed his left foot hit the line. It was tough to see from that angle. Here's the punt by McGillivray, who kicked just a 10-yarder, but makes up here, drives it inside the 10 to Jones. 20, 25, 26-yard line. Oh, he's an exciting young player. Notre Dame with the ball at the 26. 6.5 minutes remain. USC 24, Notre Dame 19. Wendell Hayes, is he inbounds or does he step out of bounds? Watch the toe. What a catch.
I think there's some green in there. I think that's
well, let's take another angle. I agree with you, but look at this angle. Hayes, those wonderful hands. Now watch the sidelines.
That one looks like he's on the white line. The earlier replay looked like there was a little blade of green grass in there. And
that's how tough that call was. Luck of the Irish, perhaps. They take over at the 26 with 6.5 minutes left, trailing by 5. Jackson throwing to the sidelines, wide open is Tony Fisher. And he's down at the 47-yard line. First down, 28 on the play.
You know, really a big play, but if it's thrown right in stride, it's a touchdown. He's open by 20 yards. I mean, really good call by Kevin Rogers. They're struggling with a wet football, but Tony Driver was wide open down this left side. All the action's coming in here. See, they're running this guy in the post, and boy, look at him. If you throw it to him on time, he made a good catch. He's gone.
And made a good catch knowing it's a wet ball, and that's why he wouldn't be sure of the catch, not try to flirt with a miss going for the touchdown. At the SC 47, Jarious Jackson throwing long for Bobby Brown. Incomplete at the 5-yard line. He had beaten Chris Richard.
The USC defensive linemen look tired to me, Dick. I mean, they're not getting much pressure on Jarious Jackson at this point. And if they're going to, and if Bill Young, the defensive coordinator, wants to come after Jackson, which is dangerous, you're going to have to do it with linebackers. Those down linemen are just tired. They've been on this field a long time this second half.
Yeah, Ryan Nielsen giving a blow, and it's even tougher on the linebackers because they don't have much depth there. And those three linebackers, Abdul Malik, Moreno, and Steele, going most of the game. 2nd and 10. Julius Jones stuffed. A gain of 2 as Zeke Moreno right in the hole.
Well, Moreno has done just about everything inside. You couldn't ask more from an inside linebacker than Zeke Moreno has given you today. Ezekiel, the messenger.
All of his family with biblical names. His is Ezekiel Aaron Moreno.
The last 3 meetings have been close ones.
3rd and long. Notre Dame today made good on only 1 of 9. They faced 3rd and 8.
3-man rush here.
Now they bring somebody and down the middle to Holloway, and he makes the catch. Jabari Holloway, a tough catch for the big tight end, and it's a first down at the USC 33.
Yeah, he's pointing up to Kevin Rogers and saying, great call, and indeed it was. You're talking about mixing it up. The Irish really have. I mean, you throw the ball to Tony Fisher down one sideline, you let Joey Getherall work the middle, you mix him in with Bobby Brown, and then just when everybody forgets about your tight end, Kevin Rogers and Jarious Jackson don't.
Boy, not an easy catch for Jabari Holloway, preseason All-America, but as we said earlier, been a very quiet year for him. Under 5 minutes to play, first down. Notre Dame trailing by 5 with 4:49 left. Give it to Tony Fisher. They're trying to tackle the ball, a wet ball away from Fisher, who drives to the 26-yard line, and a gain of 7.
Yeah, you're right, trying to tackle the football. Tony Fisher, earlier in the season, had trouble with fumbles. But the last 3 weeks, he's been going to bed at night with a football.
You know, and the good news, he said, is he wakes up in the morning, he's still got it.
High and tight, as they call it. That's exactly right. But he hasn't.
I'm going to try that.
Since he's been sleeping with it, he hasn't fumbled once.
Long road trip.
Don't try that for you.
I better not.
Don't try that.
Better not. 2nd down 3. 4:08 on the clock. Good speed, and Fisher. It's Fisher again. Oh, no, Julius Jones now. And the quick feet of the freshman Jones earns Notre Dame a first down at the 21-yard line. Oh, this is coming down to some wonderful, dramatic stuff. If you're just joining us, USC ran out to a 21-0 lead in the first half and led 24-3 early in the third quarter. But it's been Notre Dame since. And the Irish, despite missing a key extra point, have kicked a field goal, so a touchdown would give them the lead.
Tough to knock this Notre Dame team out. And again, this drive is perfect. Not only you get yourself in position to put yourself in the lead, but you're using a lot of clock.
3:47, 3:46 left in the fourth quarter. First down play. And Jones runs into a stone wall, tries to get outside, and is wrestled down by Ifeanyi Ohalete.
Marcus Steele first finished off by 31 Ohalete. One of their captains. Good tackling by him today. Last week they missed some tackles, but very good tackling by the secondary of USC today.
Call it a 3-yard gain, 2nd and 7 as Javen Hunter and Bobby Brown come in. Jay Johnson and Joey Getherall out.
A lot of permutations here, Dick. 3 minutes remaining. Notre Dame definitely needs a touchdown. They're using clock. USC burned a timeout early in this half.
Time-conserving drive. We're under 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Brown in motion. Fake to Jones. Jarious Jackson to the 1-yard line.
Did he fumble it? He fumbled the ball.
And a scramble, and USC says they have it. No signal. Notre Dame signaling touchdown. Or was he down at the 1-yard line? The signal says touchdown, Notre Dame.
He is absolutely so dangerous when you have everybody defending. Just when you think you have him, you don't. Not only is the ball slippery, he's slippery. It looked like Ohalete had it first.
And Chris Richard was the man who made the hit and forced the fumble. There's 42 Richard. See if Jarious Jackson doesn't dig in there and pull it away.
Well, 31, Ohalete gets it first.
Who reaches out there? Jabari Holloway, maybe, 87. In a mad scramble at the goal line, Holloway and Notre Dame take the lead 25-24.
What a play. And, when you hustle like Jabari Holloway, good things happen when you hustle.
That's your tight end downfield to recover the quarterback scramble fumble, but Jarious Jackson with a brilliant run. And that close on this wet day of being recovered by Southern California.
Now they'll go for 2. It's a 1-point game right now. They want to try to make it a 3-point game. Notre Dame has 3 different 3-point plays. And you have the option on these 2-point plays to move the ball to a hash mark if you want. Yeah, see, he's going to move it to the left hash. And generally what that left hash means, your quarterback is going to run a rollout to the right.
And looking ahead for Southern California, Paul Hackett will have plenty of time with this dangerous offense that will need only a field goal. 2 minutes and 40 seconds on the clock.
I'll tell you, watch out for that Y hide again that Dan O'Leary scored on early in the game. He scored last week on. And they're going to move the ball to the left hash, and I'd be willing to bet Jarious Jackson's going to roll to his right.
Tony Fisher and Joey Goodspeed in the backfield with Jarious Jackson. Joey Getherall to the right. Bobby Brown to the left. Jackson thinks about running, throws, incomplete. Bobby Brown leaping high in the back line of the end zone. Jarious Jackson thought about running, almost an opening. So, with 2:40 left, Notre Dame leads for the first time in the game, but only by 1 point. Welcome back to Notre Dame. This sellout crowd of 80,000 treated to a classic in this rivalry. Notre Dame trailing the entire game, but with 2:40 left. They've struck. Fumble recovery in the end zone by tight end Jabari Holloway to lead 25-24. But now Southern California gets its chance to answer. And a rare chance for Soward to return. Very dangerous, and here he comes. Breaks a tackle and finally is wrestled at the 37-yard. Fumbled the ball, and Notre Dame says they have it.
He was trying for an extra 2 yards. The ball came out.
No signal yet. Digging down the bottom of the pile. Notre Dame ball.
Jim Sanson.
Look who got it. The kicker, Sanson. Oh, is that a redeeming play for a man much maligned in his career here? Sanson demoted as the place kicker, reduced to just a kickoff man, and he digs it out of the pile.
Again, Soward just doing his thing, trying to get those extra 3-4 yards. Then Corey, number 24, is trying to, it's Beckstrom. Yeah, 27, Beckstrom.
And Sanson, who was behind the play, came back to fall on it. Two big fumble recoveries, and they made that ball a funny size, so it would take interesting bounces. And on this day in the fourth quarter, both go to Notre Dame. Now it's the Irish who must hold on to it. At the Southern Cal 36. Fisher. Dragged down from behind, a first down inside the 25.
Well, we have seen Notre Dame be in some dire straits all year long, Dick. And I want to tell you, this is a determined, patient team that does not discourage early. Down 21-0. Bob Davie never got excited. His team just kind of hung in there, chipped away. Jarious Jackson, as he had the last couple of games, came to life, and now they lead by 1.
1:57 left. SC with 2 timeouts. Fisher protecting the ball and down at the 23-yard line.
That's all you're thinking about at this point is protecting the ball. And R.J. Soward has had a remarkable game as a receiver. Can't blame him. It's an effort penalty, an effort error. You can't blame him, but give Jason Beckstrom, number 27, the strong hands of Beckstrom, and then the little hands of Sanson on the recovery.
1:25, 1:24. USC not spending a timeout here.
No, they have 2 left.
They have to be thinking, make the big hit, force the ball free. Here they come.
That's it.
Fumble. And I believe SC has this one.
Boy, you talk about a perfectly timed blitz. Whoa.
SC ball.
And R.J. Soward's going to get a chance to perhaps redeem himself, Dick. But I got to tell you, it's one thing about calling a blitz. It's another thing timing it as perfectly as USC did on that play.
The man who recovered it was big 300-pound 99 Ennis Davis. But let's see who forces the fumble. It was the blitzing Trojan.
Steele. I think it's Marcus Steele who timed it perfectly.
He did indeed, and what a player he has been today, Marcus Steele.
Well, 2 timeouts remaining. USC's got a pretty good field goal kicker, although he's not been tested in this kind of circumstance.
And a lot of fans will wonder, with a second down and 1 minute left, why Notre Dame didn't play it more conservatively. Let's see what happens with the Trojan. Great reception game. Van Raphorst underneath, throws to his fullback, Landrigan. Landrigan with a first down. So the clock stops with 54 seconds till they remark it.
Van Raphorst used one of his 2 timeouts.
Didn't need to.
Yeah, he would have had, the clock stops when you get a first down, but they're going to call it. They burned one of the 2 timeouts.
Well, today's Chevrolet players of the game, despite the fumble, R.J. Soward, brilliant, from Fontana High School. And Jabari Holloway, the man on the spot, the big tight end for Notre Dame, and Sandy Creek High School
in Riverdale, Georgia. In recognition of their efforts, Chevrolet makes a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. And beginning this year, Chevrolet also proudly donates $1,000 to the 2 high schools.
Dick, remember the very first play of this first half when USC had possession of the ball, and before they could even get a snap off, they had to use a timeout. That, and I said it at the time, it's going to become to be a critical thing. They will have 1 timeout remaining instead of 2. There's 54 seconds remaining in this ball game. They need to gain about 30 yards, maybe 35 yards, to give their kicker a chance to win the ball game. But with 1 timeout, everything's available.
Elements could play a part. Wet ball, and Southern California will be kicking into the rain and the wind. First down at the 42. 1 timeout left. And there's the sophomore kicker, David Newberry, from Corsicana, Texas. Kicked at Navarro Junior College before transferring out to the West Coast and Southern California. Soward, far left. Van Raphorst dumps it short, incomplete. Wouldn't have gotten much either, even if Morton had caught it. So that stops the clock, 49 seconds.
Yeah, you're probably better off not completing that pass.
25-24, Notre Dame leading Southern California. Paul Hackett's team led 21-0 and early in the second half, 24-3. And the Irish with 22 unanswered points.
Well, they're double covering number 18, Soward.
Van Raphorst underneath, trying to get off the field of play is Hayes. Does he? Yes. What an effort by Wendell Hayes. He was 15 yards into the field and had to race to the sidelines to stop the clock with 42 seconds.
Yeah, you know, remember a few moments ago he went out of bounds when he should have stayed in. That time he did a fabulous job, and he has some paint and chalk and all that kind of gook on him. But he did a great job of getting out of bounds. But it's now 3rd and 4 for USC.
Wendell Hayes with his 8th catch and 109 yards today and a touchdown.
Need about 25 yards still, Dick, to give themselves a reasonable shot at a field goal.
3rd down at the Trojan 48-yard line. Van Raphorst, pump and go to the sidelines, incomplete. Intended again for Hayes, and that'll bring up 4th down as the freshman Jason Beckstrom, who is playing today because Lee Lafayette suspended for academic reasons, and so Beckstrom being used as that nickel and dime defensive back.
Remember, he's the one that caused the fumble too on J.R. Soward, so Jason Beckstrom has come up very big for the Irish.
4th down and 4 for USC, so they face making at least 4 to keep possession. 41 seconds remaining.
Soward here.
Incomplete. Notre Dame takes over on downs. Remarkable comeback by the Irish of Notre Dame.
Yeah, their own memories created here. Their own comeback. Down 21-0. The ball was tipped, I think, by Anthony Weaver. Anthony Weaver, number 98. All 6'3" of them gets his hand.
And now Jarious Jackson with a kneel down. And this will be the largest comeback for Notre Dame since the 1979 Cotton Bowl, 20 years ago, when they rallied from 22 down against Houston. And what a game we've seen today. Southern California with a marvelous effort, leading by 3 touchdowns, and somehow Notre Dame in this second half found a way to win. A couple of Irish bounces on fumbles, critical to this incredible comeback.
And the seniors finally beat the Trojans.
And the heartbeat of this great rivalry still pounds furiously. Oh, my. Well, the Irish with a bye week, so they get a week of rest before meeting Navy. Southern California with two very difficult losses. Arizona in Tucson, and a one-point defeat to the Irish today. They meet Stanford, currently the leaders in the Pac-10 next Saturday.
Nothing like a happy lineman.